What's up, everybody? Welcome to Earn the Chaos. Welcome to the Tesla stock earnings watch party. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Holy crap! It's that day. It's Tesla day. We got earnings going on. We got Snapchat popping off. It's a crazy ass day. We also got breaking news on the stimulus as well. We'll go ahead and for sure talk about that, I'm sure. But my God, Fat Man Zoom, what a crazy ass week it's been, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, I have been kind of on the sidelines. I have the stocks I have, but I haven't bought anything in 2 days.
Yeah,
haven't touched it.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting, trying not to get emotional. Listening to Whitney Houston, cool my nerves. Type of deal.
Yeah, man. It's just I've been the same way. I haven't been really all that active really since late last week. I haven't moved too much stuff around, trying to work my way into some more cash position, and just kind of waiting for some things to start making sense. Right now, it's just up and down and just all over the place, super choppy, but you guys knew this was coming. We kind of talked about this really leading up to today and getting closer to election time. It was just going to get super choppy. It's going to be all over the place. And we knew this was coming. So making sure that you guys planned ahead was super crucial for us to make sure that you guys knew about that. Hopefully you did. I know everybody in the Chaos crew should have known that. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you're hitting the join button next to subscribe. You guys can hang out in the chat with all the other Chaos crew members you see there. And also you get a daily watch list from us as well. And all kinds of other cool stuff as well as a public portfolio, private live streams, and that sort of thing. So if you want to be a part of that, hit the join button, help support the channel. We'd love to have you guys over. Yeah, so I see a lot of people kind of roasting me a little bit here on the Rocket and Penn. When the whole market's down, I mean, yeah, no kidding. The thing of it is like nothing's changed about these companies. Penn National, I'm still considering this a buy. Rocket, still very much considering this a buy. And if you don't buy it down here at these levels, I don't know what you're waiting for. So no, I have no problem sitting in these at all. And so that is the emotion that we're talking about. Get a grip, folks, because you're going to have to. If you don't have your emotions in check, it's going to end badly for you. And, I don't want to be the one to say I told you so, because I will. I'll do it. Done it before.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. We'll talk about the market. We'll talk about the bill not being passed. What's in store for the stimulus. We're talking all things EV, obviously Tesla earnings.
Yep.
And I mean, the big move was Snapchat and social media. So that's what's on the docket for today. Chaos crew members will get your questions in as well. And we're rolling till 4 p.m. after hours.
Yep.
For Tesla earnings. Hopefully we'll get a run back from Snapchat and have something similar that Snapchat did.
If Tesla goes to hell off like Snapchat did, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'll probably take my shirt off and start throwing it around the house because I will go absolutely crazy if that happens. Let's get into it a little bit as far as what's been moving right now. We talked about Snapchat yesterday, and really all of social media has been moving, my man.
Yeah, it has. Social media has been moving. Snapchat's was up to like nearly 35%.
It's almost at $40. Almost at $40 a share.
Yeah. Facebook, Pinterest got upgraded, but all of them, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, didn't really matter if you had any of those. It's going up. Other movers, PayPal moved today. Actually, Square was in the watch list because of PayPal's move, but PayPal up nearly 4.5% on the news that they now they're about to launch the capability of buying and selling a cryptocurrency. So that should be coming in the next few weeks for PayPal.
Yeah, and Bitcoin has been going the hell off today too. Went absolutely crazy overnight because of that news. It's up $12,800 on Bitcoin or to the US dollar. So it's just this one just went absolutely crazy as well because of that PayPal news. And I think what people aren't realizing when we look at the reason we put Square on the watch list, and Square has come down, still continue to come down. I actually ended up grabbing a starter this morning on this. And the reason that we're looking towards Square is because lots of times when you see Square go down, PayPal go up, there's always some sort of rebound. There's a rebalance at some point. Square is going to come right back. Square actually already is involved in crypto, if I'm not mistaken. And so this isn't really a big deal at all. And I think the real opportunity to capitalize is on Square for that reason.
Yeah. That's sort of the thought. And what I've observed and we've talked about before is that how do people get stuck holding the bag? This is how they see a 4% move and they're like, oh, let me not miss the boat. FOMO kicks in and they get on. Whereas what we're looking for is material change. So rather than buying in the green when the move has been made, and there's times you can buy in the green, but when the move's been made, you're in selling in the red, like that's how you get stuck holding the bag. So for us, we've talked about, is there a material change or is this just either profit taking or emotion or whatever? Nothing material changed about Square. News about PayPal, stock goes down, boom, let's get it in the red. Let's get it at a discount. Can it come down more? Sure. But we feel confident about this at the long term. And to be honest, I don't think 200 is far off.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And just looking at the charts right now, I think that there's a potential for it to come down to maybe around 173. Right now, sitting at 177 per share. But no, I agree. We've talked about Square getting the $200 per share in the very near future, and the slightest catalyst could very easily send this thing. So I anticipate upcoming earnings for this thing to be really, really strong. I think they'll probably end up beating expectations. We won't see earnings from them until November, but I think that we're going to see quite a move from them, especially going into the holidays. You got more people that aren't going to be out in the stores. They'd rather do everything paperlessly or frictionless transactions, and that's where PayPal and Square both shine. And I think they're both one and the same in that. We always talk about how PayPal we like better. It's just a better company because they've been around longer, a little bit more established. They have a bigger user base, but they're really 1 and 1A as far as who we like the best. So there's not really one that's, I would say, is the better one to own. I would, we've talked about, you could actually make a living playing one or the other. PayPal's down, Square's up, just kind of playing the inverse of them. It's almost kind of like playing inverse ETFs to a certain degree. But yeah, I think that Square is just a really good opportunity here to grab some. And if you've been waiting around for it, I think now's your chance.
Yeah, and let me talk about some other general stocks that have been on the watch list or that are on our overall watch list that have been moving in one way or the other. Big C's moving, having a pretty good day, up 3.5%. Bro, Drive Shack is up another 12%.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's kind of been one of those ones we were just like, we'll just keep an eye on it, and we kind of like it. But I'm just looking at it right now. It's up to $1.72. Just nothing but crazy moves on this thing.
I couldn't put it in the watch list. I couldn't, I've been in it since we talked about it. We talked about it months ago.
Yeah.
And there was just nothing that I could get myself to get in it, or to publicly get people to do it because I didn't want to risk people's money.
Right.
But I've been in it because I personally just believe in the concept and hospitality. I felt like at a little in, but Drive Shack is wild. Maybe one day it'll show up on the watch list, but a sub $2 stock, I can't put in on the watch list.
It's gone up 70% in the last couple of days.
I've had it.
Yeah.
Small position, but I've had it in my long term. Etsy, down 7.5%, maybe an opportunity. And I'm just looking at the numbers. Some of these I may not know if there's anything material while they're moving. Netflix is down 6.5%, which we know why. Poor earnings, horrible earnings. And then the other one I wanted to bring up, Google's still moving. Everybody thought there'd be sort of a negative impact on the DOJ case, but that's been known. Clearly that didn't affect it at all. I mean, if anything, it's helped it move in the right direction.
I was going to say, yeah. And a lot of you guys had questions about Goog, Goog. about and you know how that was going to be affected. And we said right here on this show that it would not. We talked yesterday about it to an extent, and we just said that you know this is going to be an ongoing problem with all of these big tech companies where they're just going to constantly be faced with the security issue in Congress. It's just always going to be a problem. It's never going to actually get 100% fixed. They're going to make advancements here and there, but there's always going to be this question and always evolving. And I think that if you guys, you know, constantly worry about that and not really kind of focus on the actual value that this company is providing, especially when it comes to ad spend. And we're already seeing how ad spend is going up, especially with Snap, and Google is a huge benefactor, or, you know, it's just a ripple effect and it's affecting Google as well. So probably one big reason why we're seeing Google move. But yeah, $1,600 a share. We said it was a steal of anything under $1,500. And sure enough, it's looking fantastic, man.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to change up the format a little bit. So we're going to take these segments, answer questions as each segment, see how it works. So general market questions. Some of you guys are asking questions about the stocks we just mentioned. I'm going to take a few of them. Then we're going to go on to EV and ask your questions regarding Tesla or EV. And then we'll go on to social media, Snapchat, ask your questions about that. And then we'll go to general Q&A and wait for Tesla's earnings, which Griffin, you asked about Tesla. Tesla's earnings will be right after market close. So between 4:05 and 4:15, we'll be watching Twitter. We'll be watching Google to see what comes up. So let's get into the questions.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Damn, we already got 300 people in here. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Get those likes up, folks. We certainly would appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you're watching, this is a members-only chat, so anybody can view. If you want to have your question answered, feel free to join the Chaos Crew. It's $4.99 a month, gets you a daily watch list, and you can join by clicking on the join button in the chat. So, first question, what is happening with Etsy? Nothing, I don't, okay, so New Order X, I guess some people want to hear about Etsy, so let's talk about Etsy.
Yeah, so most of tech has come down today, and a lot of this just revolves around stimulus. I think that people have just kind of had it pretty much. So it's not just Etsy, right? We saw Amazon coming down, and we saw Shopify coming down. All of these have come down, and it seems as if everybody's kind of losing their mind a little bit. We've seen that in our community a little bit, people getting a little nervous. I think it's appropriate to just take a step back here and look at the opportunities that might arise. You know,
what's a good opportunity to grab Etsy? Ask New Order X.
I think that Etsy is a really good opportunity if really kind of right where it's sitting at right now. And I'm going to switch over and share my screen and kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. So I've already had some areas on Etsy marked as far as support and resistance goes. And right now, Etsy is holding right at that 133, 134 area that I've had marked from way back when. So I think that this is a really good opportunity to grab stuff on the dip. If it breaks through that, then you might look for another opportunity right around 127.
Okay, awesome. All right, and Etsy's been on fire.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to do really well through the rest of the year, even further, but holiday season coming up. It's got the same catalyst that something like Amazon has, something like Shopify has. It's virtual. I love the fact that it's creators, it's the gig economy. And so I love a company like Etsy that allows people to create their own businesses. So they're going to continue to do really well. And the holiday season, I think, is going to be monster. Consider this a gift. I mean, if stimulus doesn't go through, yes, like Brad said, it's going to continue to go down. But this move down is probably an opportunity to get in.
And really, with all the other ones, I mean, we were just talking about it this morning in the mentorship as well. Fiverr has taken a hit. A lot of these e-commerce type stocks. So I think this is a huge opportunity, to be honest with you. Look for areas of consolidation where it's settling out around supports on your favorite e-commerce stocks, Amazon included. And I think that they're a clear buy and hold through next year. If you hold them through next quarter, I think it's going to be a monster fourth quarter report on earnings with these e-commerce stocks. And Etsy, Wayfair, all of those are going to do really, really well, I think.
Melissa Moffat asks if somebody can explain what happens when you join level 2. So what if you're a complete beginner? Here's what I'll say, Melissa. So level 2 gives you access to Brad's portfolio, where he sends an update every day on what positions he's in. He'll send you a screenshot of his Weeble platform, and then what he got in, what he trimmed. But if you're looking for something for beginners, I would recommend our mentorship, which the link is in the description. Brad has a mentorship, which is different than the membership. The mentorship is where he goes live every morning, 30 minutes before the market opens at 9 a.m. Eastern time through 10 a.m. And basically, we're just live trading together. So there's about 120 people in the mentorship. We usually have about 60 to 75 people a day that are actively trading with us. So that's the best bet. There's a 30-day free trial. So click on the description. Halloween 20. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Halloween 20. I put it in the chat there.
Okay, so yeah, I would say that. But level 2, I don't know how much advances your education from a beginner's perspective. I think it's great to be a part of, but check out the mentorship. Try for 30 days, risk-free. All right, next question. Amar, what's going on, Amar? Don't think I didn't realize you showed up on time. Much appreciated, my friend. Thoughts on Zoom? Is it good? Is it good by now, or is it going to go down to $500?
Zoom is definitely starting to look like a good buy. I actually grabbed a starter position on Zoom just today. As you can see, I ended up scaling back into this thing. So I've been in and out of Zoom really kind of since April. I have it in a longer term account that I've just kind of letting it sit since the low 100s. But from a short term active trading standpoint, I've been in and out of this thing, and it's starting to become extremely predictable. It's come down now from 588, almost 589, now sitting at 518. I told you guys yesterday that I could see this coming down to 520, and sure enough, it did. I think that if it does continue to come down, then yes, 500 flat seems to be another area that I would consider potentially adding to Zoom. But Zoom's not going anywhere. We're starting to see increases in Rona cases, and there might be some positive news as far as the vaccine's concerned, but we already know the story behind Zoom, and that the demand is not really going to go away that significantly, whether a vaccine gets here or not. So I think that Zoom is definitely going to be a buy, and I think we're getting really, really close to approaching those buy areas. I thought 520 was going to be a relatively decent support. So far, it's holding there decently, but I'll end up continuing to build a position on this if this actually ends up dropping closer to $500 for sure.
Sharm asks, what's a good entry point for Peloton? Is that 126 right now?
Peloton, yeah, it's come down actually. Actually got upgraded $160. It was the next price target from some analysts this morning. And it's come down, pretty much with all the other tech and coronavirus type stocks. I think this is, again, another really good opportunity. We're talking about Peloton where you not only have the holiday season coming up, but you also have New Year's. I mean, people have the resolutioners that are going to come in and buy up some Peloton if they don't get it for Christmas. Peloton's definitely a buy. I would probably give it some time, see if it comes back down to $120 a share and try to scoop some up there. That's kind of been an area that I've had my eye on now for the last week or so. I think that's probably going to be a good spot for it.
Okay, great. Let's transition to the next topic of discussion. Huang, you asked, who do you guys think would be Tesla's competitor? That is kind of a topic for today.
It's a great segue.
But we have Tesla's earnings, and we wanted to also discuss competition, other EVs in the market. We obviously had GM, Hummer. There's a lot of news, a lot of things coming on. Let's filter through it. So let's kick off, Brad, with the EV sector and Tesla. Yeah,
so I actually have a poll up here. If you guys go follow me on Twitter, I put up which new EV truck would you rather own? And I got the Cybertruck, the Hummer EV, and the Nikola Badger. 69 votes so far. I put it up just before we went live, and 71% of you are picking the Cybertruck still. So if you guys think that the Hummer is going to be a more badass vehicle, then check it out. I will say the Hummer is very interesting. To be completely honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Cybertruck. Like, I love Tesla, love me some Tesla. And I think it's a very dividing or controversial topic as to who finds the Cybertruck attractive or not. I think it's ugly. I think the Hummer is actually ugly as well. But there's some interesting things here to note. The Hummer EV that just got released yesterday as far as being able to pre-order it. They came out with all the features, and it was a pretty badass looking video as far as how it was performing and all that good stuff. 1,000 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque. It's got this crazy crab walk feature, which you can kind of like diagonally steer the vehicle. It's just wild looking. Only 350-mile range, and it's $113,000. When you look at and compare it to something like a Cybertruck, I believe the starting price for a Cybertruck is somewhere around $39,000, whereas the starting price for this new EV Hummer is around $80,000, so twice as much. And so I think that while it is very interesting, I think it's still not necessarily competing with the Cybertruck to a certain extent. Some of the features are cool, but it was a very compelling video, and all of the pre-orders have sold out for the top of the line EV Hummer. You can't pre-order it anymore. All the reservations are full. It looks as if you can still do on the lower models as well, but I don't know. It's definitely interesting. The Infinity Roof was pretty sweet as well. I don't know if you got a chance to see that video, my man, but it was actually pretty decent, pretty cool.
I should check it out. I think that Cybertruck, and to a certain extent for GM, the Hummer is kind of a marketing play.
Yeah.
Like the Cybertruck gets us talking, whether you think it's ugly or not, it gets us talking. I think it is something that will grow on us, but I don't think it's like a mass adoption thing. I could see them doing like the Cybertruck. I think it's going to have awesome features. I think it's going to be for the loyalist.
Yeah.
But which is Hummer as well. Hummer is very targeted. It's not going to have mass appeal. So it's not going to really move the needle when you think about earnings and revenue. But it gets us talking. And we have been talking about Cybertruck nonstop, and it's gotten excitement. It's kept Tesla's name in the forefront. So it's smart to do. I could see Tesla years from now adding on to like the off-road four-wheel, like going for the Bronco Wrangler market.
Yeah.
And potentially doing something like that that's a little bit less wild, like Cybertruck's just futuristic crazy, but more like, if you remember at Tesla Battery Day, an analyst asked, or it wasn't an analyst, I think it was just like one of the influencers that they invited, but about camping mode for the Cybertruck, and it didn't currently have it. But the camping mode, I was talking to my buddy who owned a Tesla, is actually really cool, which essentially, like, you know, when you're like sleeping in your car, but you have to keep your car on and you're like, oh, the battery's going to die, whatever.
Yeah.
So this allows you to shut down your car and continue to have airflow and be able to like sleep in your car, which people that have Tesla swear by it. Now let's take it with a grain of salt, because maybe it's cult-like where they swear by anything.
Yeah, right.
But you think about it, that's a problem you think about with a car. You're like, I don't want it to run the whole time, keep my lights on, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that functionality makes sense for something like a Cybertruck. So all that's cool. But again, I'm not sure that moves the needle from a revenue perspective as a whole.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten some attention. And GM has made some moves over the last couple of days because of it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think we'll see how it shakes out. I would agree with you, though. I mean, obviously, Tesla's technology is still way far ahead, leaps and bounds. I mean, the Cybertruck is supposedly going to be boasting a 500-mile range, which this Hummer doesn't even come close to. So while I think that the Hummer does have some pretty cool features, especially with the convertible feature, being able to take the top off of that thing, to your point, as it's trying to compete probably with some of the Wrangler side of things as well with Jeep. Yeah, it's still not something that I completely sold on, but I think that maybe it's probably trying to spook some Tesla investors to be like, oh, finally starting to see some movement here, and we'll just kind of see what happens. But I have to believe that Elon's probably just laughing at the whole thing, to be honest with you. And I say that the Cybertruck and the new Hummer truck is ugly, and I don't find it attractive. But I myself am going out and buying a Jeep Gladiator, which most people find ugly as well. So it is what it is. I guess I don't have a whole lot of room to talk, but I love that Gladiator, man. I can't wait to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always viewed Hummers as like the compensation vehicle. Jeeps are like legit. Like they're actually great for what they do.
Yeah.
And I feel like Hummers are if you're just trying to compensate. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But so let's talk about who truly can be competitive in this space. Like, so Huang asked the competitors, who do you consider truly a competitor? And start off by like a couple of companies that we would consider there, and who do you think has the best shot of competing?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few of them. I mean, we've seen them. People have asked about them. There's Helion, which I had pulled up here. We've talked about Helion, and this is and the huge running theme has been SPAC plays, which is these special acquisition companies that these private EV firms have been trying to move into to become publicly traded. There's been a running theme with all of them. They've had a huge, massive run up, and then they fizzle out. And Helion is one of the latest casualties as far as that's concerned. It went all the way up to $58 a share and is now down over 50% from those highs just about a month ago. And so that is unbelievable. But I warned people that this would happen. One of the biggest reasons why this is happening is because Helion doesn't have a whole lot of revenue coming in, meaning that they don't have a whole lot of money to be able to spend to continue to support their efforts. So they're going to have to do a lot of things. They're going to have to sell shares in the form of offerings. They're going to have to do a lot of things to kind of get themselves competitive in this space. And this is one of those other companies that may have a hard time actually competing with Tesla. The one thing that I'll give Helion that some of the other companies right now don't have is that they actually have a product. And they actually have trucks. And so, we saw the Nikola debacle and how that's just kind of been blowing up in their face, although GM still believes in them 100%. And we have Workhorse, who actually has a product, but still the only thing that's leaning on Workhorse's side of things is the USPS deal, which we saw actually come down a lot as well. Let's go ahead and check out Workhorse. We talked about how Workhorse could actually end up suffering quite significantly if this USPS deal didn't get through. And just recently, we saw that it got delayed yet again. We've been waiting on this deal to go through since the early summertime, actually more so late spring, and it's still struggling here. Went all the way up to $31 a share, and is down over 30% from those highs in just a few weeks. So it's been tough, man. As far as ones that I think that may actually have a shot at competing with Tesla, and still, this is still a very far ways off. My favorite one so far that may actually have a shot is SPAQ. This has also come down quite a bit, but this is Henrik Fisker's second chance. And I think some of the experience that he has and he brings, especially from a design standpoint, and some of the partnerships that he's actually trying to make with Volkswagen, even though it's still been all up in the air, and this is all still 100% speculative. But if everything lines up for Fisker, I think that they have the best possible shot at actually being the sole EV company that could potentially start to work their way into this market. But even then, it's still very much a far-fetched, way out there possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I don't think they're going to have, am I correct in that they're not going to have their vehicles until like 2022?
Yeah. And that's kind of being, ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. Because those things typically don't stay on the deadline. It's like construction.
No.
I would lean towards Workhorse. Now, the hype obviously with the UPS contract, but I would lean towards that for this reason. I don't think that's competition with Tesla. I think they can live in the same space, and that could be something that doesn't really eat into Tesla's market share at all, and they can live together. So I like that. I will say, not at these levels yet, but NIO.
Yeah.
I think that NIO, to me, because they do actually have sales and they have growth and they obviously have huge consumer base opportunity. And that's the one thing I will say about the US is like the auto industry, we're not afraid of going outside of the US, where others I'd be a little bit more hesitant. We've actually seen a propensity to grow sales from outside. So that could be creating an opportunity if, I know you've expressed concerns about quality, but as somebody in our crew said earlier, when we mentioned NIO when it went off, actually they're saying really good things about the quality of the vehicles for NIO. So I just like it simply because you have the sales and you have the growth. So it looks like there's a good response.
And they have a product, right?
Yes.
Whereas a lot of these other ones don't. And so if you're looking at ones that are in the front in the running to try to make a go at Tesla, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Even though I have my own opinions on NIO, and I've been pretty clear on those, but yeah, I mean, we'll just kind of have to wait and see and see how these things develop. I like how Don, what's up, Don Fran Show, said no way Fisker drops the ball like that twice. I think that Fisker has learned his lesson on doing dealings with the Chinese. If you guys recall on Fisker, when his first tour of the EV space, he actually tried doing some deals with China, and the Chinese company that he did deals with, as far as Fisker's concerned, ended up running that into the ground and they went bankrupt. So I guess he's going to the European side of things now to try to see if it'll work this time as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I mean, you can't not make the argument that NIO is definitely one that's in the running, just for the simple fact that they are making sales and they do have a product and they are in China and we know how big that market is. Also, Tesla's in that market and they're selling quite a bit of vehicles as well, as we saw this past quarter. And I'm sure we'll probably see on the earnings report tonight what that looks like for the rest of the year. But yeah, very interesting and compelling arguments for sure. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this too. Make sure you're leaving comments down in the video. If you want to put some comments in the chat, certainly would love to hear from you on that as well. But yeah, it's a really interesting conversation because Tesla's so far ahead. And so you just have to figure out, okay, who's going to be next? And we have this conversation all the time too. It's like, well, I want to buy the next Tesla. It's like, well, just go buy some Tesla. You know,
yeah, and the story hasn't been written. I mean, it's still a growth stock. So it's not like it's Coke.
Right.
And you want to find the next Coke. So this is a growth stock. There's still huge opportunity. And just to provide some general commentary that I think about with Tesla is just because a product is launched. So if Hummer is launched, doesn't mean that they're going to be as good as Tesla. That's the one thing that Tesla did, was like, they launched an incredible product.
Yeah.
And so not only do people have to catch up and have the range compete, have the quality to compete, all that other stuff, is like, they need a product that is actually, that the first time out, it works. The first time out, it's good, right? That's hard to do. And so they are rushing to market, I would imagine, like, hey, we got to get something out. So it just increases the likelihood that you're not going to have as good of a product straight out of the bat. I would worry. So as far as the EV is concerned in general, just think about this. Would you be interested in these EVs if Tesla wasn't dominating?
Right.
And I don't care what you say, the answer is no. The only reason we're talking about the next Tesla is because of Tesla. And so these companies that are like, don't have cars or not having cars for 2-3 years, you're riding the hype of every Tesla move, getting excited about your stock. Well, here's the problem. That's Tesla that's doing it.
Right. Right.
So next year, you could be holding the bag because you're like, well, what do we got? You know, like we can get excited all we want, but like we now at some point, you've got to produce something. And there's not many earnings that we're going to have come and go where you're going to be able to say, oh, well, we got a car coming in 2 years. It's not going to fly.
Yeah. And, you know, watch if Tesla beats earnings today and it goes through the roof. Watch all the other EVs respond. And that just goes to show how much influence that one company has on all the other smaller ones. And so that speaks volumes, and it just kind of goes to the point that you're making as far as that's concerned, for sure. Got a couple donates here. I see that Danny Daniel is donating because he got kicked in the face by Workhorse, but appreciate the $5 donation, man. Todd Landon, Tesla in the green, help me. Tesla in the green, help. I don't know what he's trying to say there, but Todd Landon, thanks for the $3 donation. Nevertheless, I think that does it mean that you're going to have good earnings if Tesla's green today? I don't think that really means that at all. We've looked at done a lot of due diligence on Tesla leading up to today, and we strongly feel that Tesla does end up beating today. Even though we feel like the analysts are starting to catch up with them a little bit, and the expectations are certainly high. So hopefully they pull through on those, and I think that they will.
Yeah, let's talk earnings. So Tesla's earnings per share expectations are 56 cents. On Stockwatch Sunday, we offered our predictions. You said 67 cents a share in a beat. I said also a beat in a Steve King. So, well, it's 69 cents for everybody that doesn't know what Steve King is. And so here's what I'm looking for, and then I'll sort of say what you're looking for. This 500,000 vehicles delivered. That's a big number that people are expecting to beat. Profitability is really important as well. I want to bring this back to the forefront. I want to bring back the Walmart Canada deal. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose sight of that because Walmart increased their orders for Tesla vehicles. There's Tesla semis. And I had speculated that, why are you increasing out of the blue? There must be something that they know. And they were a little bit behind schedule, but those are supposed to be delivered beginning of next year, right?
Yeah.
So by next earnings, definitely we should know something. But I'm hoping by this earnings we hear something. And we always say we want to hear something new.
Yeah.
If they can give us a timeline, an update, anything on that, that is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So I wanted to remind people about that because we've gotten kind of lost in all the other stuff with production, gigafactories, all that stuff. That's great. But if we bring that out, holy shit, Brad, that's going to go off.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. And I'm actually struggling with, selling my position size here. So in the public account, I have probably approximately around 35% of my portfolio is made up of Tesla. And, right now I have, like I said, quite a bit of it. And so I'm hesitant on selling any of it. It's a real struggle I'm having because I don't know if I want to be without Tesla shares at this point. Even if it comes down, and let's just say they happen to miss to that point that you're making on the deals that they're making with other major corporations and major companies such as Walmart, I don't know if I would, my struggle is like, I don't know if I would care about the missing earnings if we see some sort of outlook like that in some of the deals that they're making as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's this price level is interesting right now. So the stimulus, I don't want to say it screwed us, but it's making things a little bit more convoluted because without the stimulus, I think this thing would probably be around 440, pushing 450.
Yeah.
And my thought was, if this gets above 450, I'm definitely selling. 420 is an interesting level because I think under 400 is a clear buy.
Yeah.
And even these levels are good. So it's going to be interesting because the stimulus is pushing this thing down and it's trying to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think there's profit taking. You're betting on, are they going to announce something new? And so that's what I don't know about. I'm going to hold still my starter position on it. So I'll have something in it. But I just, to me, it's not worth the risk in it. If it goes up, I'm making some money off of it.
Yeah.
If it goes down, I'm going to dollar cost average around 400.
Right. Yeah. And all definitely very good points. Definitely would love to hear from you guys as well. What are you looking to do with Tesla? Are you looking to hold on through earnings, or are you selling some of your position? What are you doing with that? Would love to hear from you. And as we're watching here, we got 506 concurrent viewers here just watching, hanging out with you guys. We love you so much. If you guys want to be part of the Chaos Crew and join the conversation in the chat, hit that join button to help support the channel. We'd love to have you guys over there. You get all kinds of other nice goodies as well, as far as daily watch lists and live streams and that sort of thing that are exclusive to the Chaos Crew. It's $4.99 a month. Doesn't break your bank, but it certainly helps, makes a difference for us. Certainly would appreciate that in the channel and all that good stuff. So, I anticipate we're going to continue to see this grow. So I'm looking forward to having a nice sized audience today for sure. If you guys,
sure. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you guys don't want to be part of the crew, but want to, still support the channel, just give us a thumbs up. We got 130 likes in here, and I think we could definitely get that number up. If you guys would love to help us out, certainly would appreciate it.
Anything else?
That's it. Sorry.
Let's get those predictions. What do we want to do? What's the prediction? The stock price tomorrow at open?
Ooh, stock price tomorrow at open. That is a very, very good question. I think we should do that for sure.
All right, let's get them. All right, so ask questions regarding EVs, the stocks we just spoke about. or Tesla specific, Tesla earnings. Let's gather those questions before we move on to Snapchat. But I want to see you guys' predictions. What is, and backing up, Don actually threw his hat in the earnings estimate. He said 72 cents a share. So we're all right around the same range.
I like it.
What is your prediction for tomorrow at open?
Well, I already said that they were going to beat. So I think that, if I go along with that same vein, if they end up beating it, even coming in at 67 cents is probably conservative, especially with Don going in at 72. That's pretty incredible. So I think that if they do end up beating and we see some more upbeat outlooks as well, I think that Tesla could see 475 tomorrow if they end up beating.
I think they beat, and I think they sell off, and I think they touch $400 tomorrow.
Ooh, okay. Going the other way with it.
Yeah, and that's pretty big. I don't think it's going to stay down there, but if you think about that, I mean, that's, I think we might see some selling off towards the end of, right before close.
I think so too.
So you're talking about a 4% move, not out of this world. So we've said this before. Just because somebody beats doesn't mean necessarily your stock's going to go up. We care about guidance. That's the other thing, man, is like, if they don't give forward guidance, I think that causes it to drop. And I think there's a good chance they're not going to do forward guidance because of their international exposure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That doesn't really sound like Elon to pull forward guidance. I mean, they've had forward guidance pretty much this whole time through and through the worst times of the Rona. So I would be very surprised if we saw that. You make a good argument, but I would be very surprised if we saw that.
Well, 400. And if it's 400, we're buying. Obviously, I hope it's 475.
Yeah.
What do we got? Do we have people giving some? Nope, nobody did anything. Thanks, guys. No, we got one.
Thanks, guys. We got 486. I think Don said, we got Melissa that says 468. Don has it at 385 or 460. So he gave the over and the under.
Nope. Stop there. He does this.
I know he does. I know he does this.
Don, pick one. We all know things go up or down.
Make a decision. I like that. 469. I like that. 469. Let's go with that.
I mean, literally, who's with me and who's with Brad? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You're either in one or the other. And then Don, Don's gone now. He's hidden. He has to make a choice. He's, something comes up.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got a few. Amar says up to 490 at open.
Damn.
You see, you guys got that Snapchat fever. Like Zoom goes up once. Now we think all of them are going up.
You see one boner candle, and then all you see is boner candles.
Brad is always right. Ooh, I'm writing that one down.
I'll write that one down too. The lady friend would not want to hear that.
So Captain Obvious said bullish. So he's taking the upside. What was his number on the upside?
485, I believe is what his was.
All right. Mr. Hat, welcome to the crew.
Welcome to the Chaos Crew, my man.
Ooh, this is probably the best call. Land in Hell. $420.69. That's called the Elon King special.
That's right. I like it.
Okay, so questions about EV. Emilio Estevez. That's not Estevez. Estevez.
What we got?
I bought Tesla at 476 on battery day. Damn.
That sucks.
Should I sell once I break even, or close it out and buy it again later when it drops near 400?
Well, there's no guarantee it's going to drop to 400, right? So, I would say if you're in, if your average is 475, and obviously this depends on your time horizon, how much value do you see in Tesla over a period of time? Are you planning on holding Tesla for the long term, or are you looking for short-term gains and it's just you're looking for the next month or two, or are you looking for the next year or two, or the next 5 to 10 years? And I think that's really the question you have to ask yourself. And if it's the latter, then I would say just hang on to it. Don't even worry about it, and maybe even try to average in, dollar cost average in a little bit more if your time horizon allows for that, and obviously also if your risk tolerance allows for that. But if I'm looking at it from a 5 to 10 year standpoint, I don't see Tesla being down here at these levels, even a year from now, much less 5 to 10 years. So I think that you'll be fine as long as your time horizon allows for that, as well as your risk tolerance. I think you'll be all right.
Trevor Sachs makes a good point that he thinks that if, for those that missed out on Snap yesterday, might take more of a chance today. I agree with that 100%. Not that that's the right thing, but that's how it works, right? I missed out. Now that's what happened with Zoom.
Yeah.
But the chances of Tesla providing, Snapchat was down last quarter. And so like everybody was really bearish on it. It went down. Whereas Tesla has been bullish on a lot of fronts. So to people's expectations is already so high.
Yeah.
For you to have that kind of move, you've got to step up that, like, what are the expectations,
Yeah.
So look at Don donating.
The big spender at $4.99 says don't say I'm hiding and ignore me. we gotta go out there and do a show with Don too. I saw him golfing yesterday. So he's getting the golf game in. We got to have a little golf tournament with Don.
Did you see a swing?
I did not. I saw just pictures.
He doesn't show a swing.
That, right? He doesn't see.
All right. What else do we got? Eric Scarl sold 20% of Tesla, bought Zoom at 518.
Ooh, that's not a bad move. Not a bad move at all.
Yeah. Camilo E, if Tesla beats, you think it's about to blow up or not necessarily? We kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Just because they beat doesn't mean they blow up. There's a lot of factors in there. So we talked about the factors. Does it beat? Does it demolish? Right? If it demolishes, great.
Right.
If the vehicle number, right? Like the vehicle number, if it's well over that 500K expectation,
yeah.
If they increase that, then that's obviously going to move. And then if anything new that we never expected.
Right. Right.
I do have a question for you.
What's up?
The other thing, we talked about this offline, and I think we need to bring it to the live stream, which is one thing that's been boding well for Tesla. You've talked about this. Don's talked about this, is that it's kind of settled. Well, you've talked about how S&P entry, it's hard for them to enter it in because of the volatility and the volume of it. And so I feel like lately it's kind of settled out.
Yeah.
And so that could potentially bode well. And my question to you is, does S&P happen? Does S&P inclusion happen before the end of the year in your best guess?
My best guess is no. I don't think it happens before the end of the year. I think the S&P would want to see a little bit more consistency from Tesla. I mean, when you look at them, they've been profitable for 4 quarters, which has been amazing. We're hoping that today we'll make it 5. And so, I think that they have all the requirements that's needed to be included in the S&P. But I think just because the amount of weight that Tesla carries, if you put that in the S&P 500, and let's just say by some chance they end up running into some sort of issue with, maybe one of their gigafactories, or they have a massive recall, and then everybody and their mother gets scared, comes out of Tesla, and then impacts the entire S&P 500. So I think that that's one thing that's kind of like keeping the Tesla out of the S&P. So I think it's going to be a little bit more time before they actually end up moving them over, but I do think it happens. I just don't know if it happens in 2020.
Does it happen in 2021?
Yes, I think in 2021 it would happen.
Landon L asked a good question. If Tesla pulls in Netflix and butchers earnings, what's the outlook, and how long of a recovery to $400? I think it's a great question, because I don't want to fall victim to what I feel I see a lot of people falling victim to, is always looking at the greener side.
Right.
They could miss.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? How ugly could it get?
Yeah. So it could actually get really ugly. I mean, I'd say that we probably would see this fall down below 400 again. And I think it looks something like it did when Battery Day happened, and it was a big letdown, right? We saw this go all the way up to 450 and above. And then Battery Day happened. People were pissed. People weren't happy about the way that it was presented, and it came crashing down below 380. So I think that that's definitely a possibility. If it comes down below 400, I think 385 could be the next reasonable area for a support on Tesla. So if it does miss, maybe look at those areas for potential opportunities to get back in, because even if they miss, I don't think they would miss by a ton. And I don't think that the outlook's going to be that poor to where we don't see it bounce back to a certain degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
I see Mike saying he's going back to the Pat McAfee show. You only got 10 minutes, man, and it's over. So I'll see you in 10.
um, a very good point. Here's a good point that Don brought up.
Yeah, what's up?
Don, Don, Don saying I'm shedding hate. Listen, I'm getting in your head because I got a competition, bruh. He said a very good point to consider is how a competitive Elon is. If you release an EV with a stat better than his, you guarantee he fixes it.
Yep.
Which is a great point as well. Like nobody's, if anybody does get close to Tesla, I think that actually bodes well for Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to sound ridiculous. Like obviously it'll hurt short term, but like competition is good. And Elon is a competitive person. And I think that just steps up their game. I think it actually hurts them that nobody really is on their heels, like truly on their heels.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting perspective. And I would tend to agree about it. Hey, the more I talk shit on Don, the more he donates. Thanks for the donation, Don.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
This is his advertising revenue. He's just trying to get advertising for the Don Fran show.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right, so let's move on to Snapchat. I want to talk about the earnings.
Yeah.
What we actually saw, not just the surface level stuff. So I'll bring up the surface level stuff, and then we'll get into those specific stocks. So again, for anybody watching,
I did take a clip out of the Snapchat reaction, by the way. I don't know if you call it that, but that was pretty glorious. If you guys didn't miss it, if you guys missed it, go back and watch that clip. It was pretty awesome. We were super excited. And yeah,
definitely. I saw the clip. So let's talk about that again. Anybody in the crew, we'll get to these other questions afterwards. So hold on to those questions. But for now, let's talk. We're going to talk about social media. So ask social media questions, Snapchat, or any of the other social media platforms. That's fair game. So here's what we have. Snapchat had earnings after hours yesterday, and the projections were a loss of 5 cents. And you, to your credit, we both predicted they beat, but you got it right on. Yep. They actually showed a profit of a penny. Great. Now, that I don't think is what made the stock move.
No.
What made the stock moves, here are the highlights. Because if you haven't realized it and you've been living under a rock, Snap went the F off. It was up like 35%.
Yeah, crazy.
So here's a few things. Really the big things are the revenue and the revenue growth. So the advertising growth, which was a key metric we've been talking about.
Yep.
And the daily active users, which is huge as well. So what we have as far as just the surface level metrics, revenue was up 52% year over year, 678 million. Now, their estimate was 559 million. So they crushed it.
Yeah, they annihilated.
Exceeded expectations, over 100 million, over 100, almost 120 million more than they expected.
Yep.
Daily active users was up 18% year over year. So they had slightly beat that. 249 million daily active users versus 244. And then the earnings per share, we know the only negative that I will bring up, or that could be looked at as a negative, is their revenue per user was slightly down. However, I think that's okay. And the reason I think that's okay is because they had so many more users. So, because it takes a while for us to purchase. So I think that's normal that it was slightly down as opposed to estimates, because they didn't expect that high of estimates. So that was the only thing, if you were playing the other side of the coin, that you'd be concerned about is the average revenue per customer. But let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
So in the presentation, they brought up the things we've been talking about as their key highlights, which are like, what was the number? It's 90% of people. What is it?
It was 90%.
18 to 24.
Yeah. 90% 18 to 24.
Use Snapchat. 75% 13 to 34. So a bigger range on both ends. Use Snapchat.
The population. So the 90% of the population aged between 18 and 24 use Snapchat. That is a mind-blowing number.
Yes.
Mind-blowing number.
That's That's impressive.
Yeah.
And they quantified this in their presentation, and they said the buying power of Gen Z and millennials is over $1 trillion. So when you're thinking about market share, so this is all opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, here's where Snapchat shifted, and they explained that in their last earnings, which didn't go well. What they said was they were going to focus on what they call dynamic ads and move into like the augmented reality, really just lean into that,
Yep.
the virtual world. Here's why it's important, because most companies take the easy road and they just do the Facebook model, Google Ads model, which is just do passive ads that show up and we think you like it. This is freaking genius. We've been excited about it before it blew up. We were excited about it when the stock was going down. And what we said was this: their ability to think in the future is incredible. They're moving to what we will be. So they've got this augmented reality world on lock. And what the CEO said was it's moving forward faster than even they thought. And so they're increasing their resources into it. We talked about Apple the Apple iPhone event, Snapchat. They mentioned their augmented reality. They are going to be the leader for augmented reality. And when companies start picking this up on augmented reality and dynamic advertising, they are going to go to Snapchat first, and everybody's going to play catch up. And so the examples of this are the three companies you may know, and I brought this up on Don Fran's channel. Adidas, Clearly, which is like eyeglass products, and Gucci. We talked about Gucci. Are three you would know. And what they do is they allow you to virtually try on the products. It's cool because you can see yourself in it. But what's even better and what makes this genius is that you already use the platform and all your friends use the platform. So while you're having fun trying these things on, you're going to send it out to all your friends, and that's free advertising.
Yes.
That's why it's freaking genius. And that's why everybody's excited, because they're already monetizing it and people are catching up. And now watch all the companies flow in. 2021 is going to be a monster for Snapchat. Sorry, that was long, but I had to get it in.
No, I mean, and it's all amazing points. And this is something that we've been hammering home this entire time. And it's like, all of a sudden everybody's just finally figuring it out, and then that this is actually what's going to drive Snapchat. And this has actually been something that we've always been concerned about as far as how are they going to make money. And I think that this is going to be the biggest, driver of their revenue is going to be this augmented reality stuff. I mean, if I can look at a shirt, especially like in the times that we're living in as far as Rona is concerned, you don't want to go try something on, you don't want to go out because maybe you're still fearful. Okay, then I'm going to put on a shirt with my Snapchat filter and see how it looks on me and go from there. And to your point too, like it starts to spread like wildfire, and all of a sudden you get viral products that way. And so I think that it's just going to be a huge opportunity for Snapchat. And that's why a lot of these other companies in social media have been moving up, because not because of the augmented reality part of it, but and I think that you're going to segue into this as well, but we're starting to see that if Snapchat did well, then that also means that potentially Facebook did well, Twitter did well, which all have earnings next week. And we're starting to see ad spend return to these platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. What's hurt the industry the past 3 months is larger corporations withholding some of their digital ad spend.
Yeah.
And so about a week and a half ago, we brought up in the Chaos Crew that rumor is they're starting to spend money again. Money's going back into digital advertising. And Snapchat affirmed that. So that's why we saw everything else move. And now it's just a matter of how many of their customers came back. And a company like Facebook and Instagram, I can only imagine this number is monster. So this is interesting because Wednesday and Thursday are when they all report next week for their earnings. What happens? Is there going to be a pullback opportunity? I'm not sure. Maybe at the end of this week, but you're going to want to get into it leading up. But it just, how much is it going to run before? And is it worth holding on to? I'm not sure, but
it's interesting that you bring that up.
I expect. What's that?
I was going to say it's interesting you bring that up, because we talked about Facebook being a buy in the Chaos Crew the Chaos Crew fam at 250. We said that it was becoming a joke down there, and that was just a couple weeks ago. down to 250. So if you guys want to be part of the crew, you wouldn't have been out. If you guys were a part of the crew, you wouldn't have missed out on this. But if you're not, then you probably did. So if you don't want to miss out on the next one, make sure you're hitting that join button next to subscribe. We'd love to have you guys over. But yeah, this is something that we've been talking about for some time too. When things started to get beat down and started to become a little bit of a joke as far as the price per share was concerned, we were just like, it's time to start buying it up, you know?
Yep. Wow. Richard724 is up 97%. He doesn't on Pinterest. He doesn't have a ton of
Hell
Pinterest, but he says, how much more can it go up? Should he basically, you know, should he scale out?
Yeah, this is one that we've talked about too. I think today is just going to be an absolutely monstrous day, and I think that it makes sense to start trimming out of something just because of the insane move that it's been making. But you know, I've been bullish on Pinterest in the teens as well. I mean, right around the time that we were like, it's time to go, you know, it's time to go into Snap. We were talking about Pinterest as well, because these are the ones that are flying under the radar as far as social media is concerned. And they were kind of like the little brother / little sisters to, you know, the big ones, Twitter, Facebook, even IG and all those, even though that's connected to Facebook. But like those social platforms, you look at something like Pinterest and Snap, and they're just getting started, and they actually have competitive advantages to their major counterparts. So that's why we love them so much, not because they're just the same, but because they're actually different and they set themselves apart from these larger social media platforms. And I think this is just the next stage, or the next, you know, a wave of social media, and the way that people are going to do business is going to be through Snap and Pinterest.
Let me paint a picture for you guys. One of the things that with the augmented reality is this Bitmoji TV. So
Yeah,
I can take a video of myself and it'll just like turn me into a Bitmoji, right?
yeah,
And so if I own the company, they haven't said this, but I got to believe this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be able to put on Nike clothes, Nike sneakers, Adidas clothes. Like that's the opportunity that's there.
Yep.
And companies are going to pay for that. That's dynamic ads. Dynamic ads is where the customer's engaging and the customer's carrying it on for you. It's not, hey, I'm going to randomly show you this that has nothing to do with what you're looking for, has nothing to do with anything. It's just showing up in front of your face as an ad.
yeah.
And we already know word of mouth is powerful. I'd rather get something from my friend than just a random ad. So all that's really important. So SoundCloud said, Snapchat said, hold my beer, watch my percentage.
Yeah, right. Just to give you guys perspective too, in case you're feeling a little bit of FOMO, you didn't miss the boat on either one of these yet. I think there's still plenty of room for these to run. I would, however, give it some time, let it pull back, because this is the initial hit, right? I think that here's a couple of opportunities that I would say you probably may want to capitalize on. And one of them is if we see Facebook or Twitter or any of these other social media platforms come out with something similar, because we saw this happen last time with Zoom. Remember when Zoom started going crazy, and then Facebook came out with their, you know, their video sharing service as well within their platform, and everybody's like, oh, well, Zoom's done for. And then Teams came out with the same thing, and everybody's like, Zoom's going to get crushed. And it just absolutely blew everybody away. Snap has a competitive advantage here, and so I think that the early mover is really what's going to be the one that actually moves. So that the area to capitalize would be if Facebook comes out with news, you're going to see this sell off, and that's the time to hop back in if you feel like you missed a boat on this. And I think those are going to be the areas you're going to watch for on Snap and Pinterest.
If you miss it and it runs straight up into earnings next week, which I doubt it will, then I would almost bet you're going to get a pullback opportunity on it. Yeah. There's going to be a profit taking because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
Let's say Facebook runs to 300. You're going to get an opportunity on it.
Yep.
But what's more likely is there's going to be some profit taking and you'll see a dip. So either way, you're fine. Just be patient. Let the trade come to you. But we have Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, which is grouped with Instagram. Those as the big ones next week. If you had to pick one to invest in, which one would you pick? Not Snapchat.
Pinterest.
Why?
Because last quarter, Pinterest came out and they started talking about how they were moving into global markets, specifically within Europe and Asia. And I think that we see some big news from them in these upcoming earnings. The last time around in their earnings report, and we're probably it's probably a preface to Stock Watch Sunday, but their last quarter came in at a loss of 7 cents. They beat their estimated earnings per share at 13 at a loss of 13 cents, and they came in at 7 cents. I bet Pinterest actually comes in profitable this time as well. And I think a lot of that has to do with their global outreach. And I like them a lot.
I'll take Facebook. I do like Pinterest. I'll take Facebook. My only hesitancy with Facebook is just the pressure with
Politics,
but also, like politics, but also the focus on these big businesses and them trying to break up big businesses.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it long term, but like that's just pressure to prevent it from really going off. But I think that they're going to see a huge influx in revenue. I think it's going to be through the roof.
Yep.
And they also have Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to expect to see those numbers to be huge as far as the amount people are spending. Instagram, they started shops on Instagram, and it's going to be the first quarter to show that. So they have so many revenue opportunities that should blow it out of the water. And man, if they do what I think they're going to do, watch out for that sucker.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing that they kicked off on Instagram was the Reels that compete with TikTok as well. So that could play a factor too. But just checking in with you guys. There's 585 of you in here, almost at 600. So appreciate you guys hanging out as well. If you guys are just joining us, welcome. If you've never visited this channel, hopefully earn a subscription from you. Just to kind of give you perspective, this is a special live event. We don't usually go live on Wednesdays. We go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays to kind of give you our perspective on the market, how it's moving, what we're looking at, and what we're considering investing in, all that good stuff. But today we're doing something special for Tesla. Obviously, if you saw the title, we're here and kind of having a watch party for their earnings that come out at after hours today, after 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're about a little less than an hour away from the market close right now, looking at Tesla and seeing where it is sitting. It's at 425.50 right now, just barely under 1% gain for the day. And lots of excitement surrounding around this, but we're happy you're here, and hopefully we'll be celebrating with you before long.
Trevor Sachs asks, for people looking to get into Snap, where would you see that consolidation coming into play?
Oh, great question. Great question. So you look on the daily and you're like, where the hell do I go with this? So I would kind of come back and see what it looks like on perhaps a 30-minute chart. You can make the argument that maybe it starts to pull back and have some sort of bounce at maybe $35 a share. But I'm willing to bet that we start to see some sort of gap fill, and maybe it comes back to around $32. I like to see sometimes when it gaps up like this and we see a high, what's the 50% return? So, or pullback. So from $28 essentially is what it closed at closed at yesterday, went up $10. So $5 from that would be right around $32, $33 a share. And I think that that's probably the more reasonable pullback. So that's kind of the spot that I would look at for a potential bounce.
Okay, great. All right. So let's get into general questions. I think it was Camilo. Oh man. A lot of people talk about Fastly. Okay. Camilo asked, how many stocks do we have in our portfolio?
Well, it depends. So I have a long-term portfolio that I kind of use that I build kind of like for my retirement. And I have about 30 positions in that. And I, rebalance and rotate about once a quarter, just kind of go in there and see what exactly I need to move around. If one stock's been doing particularly well, then I'll kind of trim some off of that and put it into stocks that aren't doing so well and kind of continue to build it from there. But in this public portfolio, I don't have a whole lot. I just started off with this one back in the beginning of September. If you guys recall, this is something that we kicked off for our Chaos Crew members, and it's their level 2. So I'm starting to grow this account, still beating the market, not a whole lot giving the last couple of days, but right now we've consolidated some. I have Zoom, Square, Apple Pen, and Rocket and Tesla. and we're going to see how Tesla does today. But as you can see, pretty red on just about everything so far. Penn National might be starting to get down to an area where I will consider buying to this, but I have no desire to sell any of these stocks. I do have a fairly decent amount of cash still left to add to some of the stuff that I feel like would be worth grabbing onto. One I think I'm really going to be adding onto next is Zoom. I think Zoom's going to be a good opportunity if it gets closer to that $500 mark.
Yeah, and I do 8 to 10 positions. So Fat Man Zoom is 7 positions, and then I give myself freedom to 2 to 3. I try not to have too many. I think the 8 number is good for me because I just can't monitor that many stocks that I'm trading. So right now, outside of the Fat Man Zoom stocks, uh, Peloton, Rocket, and Penn are the 3 that I'm currently in. And I won't do more unless I sell off of one of those 3. I won't trade more because it'll just be too overwhelming for me to monitor.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good important point that you bring up too, is just, making sure that it's something that you can handle. If you get uncomfortable with too many positions, then scale it back or what have you. So that's a really good point you bring up.
R. Evans, I think we answered your question about is it too late to get in on Snap? Eric Scarl asks, what are your thoughts on the Gap GPS global company?
GPS is the ticker?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a real retail. If you guys know Gap, it's a retail company. It's okay. You can see that it's been trending down quite a while. But you know what retail company hasn't been? Christian, do you have an idea?
Under Armour?
Yes, sir. Under Armour is going to be the one that I would continue to go after. It's actually continually trending up. I like Under Armour a lot. If you're looking for something in the retail space that's nice and cheap, Under Armour is now back up over $12 a share, which is absolutely incredible. We've been talking about this one, for a week, 2 weeks now, and it's looking great. So it's continuing to go up. I like Under Armour a lot.
Oh, man. Let's talk about DraftKings. So YouTube ask any opinion on DraftKings.
Yeah, so here's what happened with DraftKings. Had a lot of questions about this yesterday. And, this is one thing that people can kind of get in trouble with if they don't do their own due diligence, especially when it comes to looking at fundamental analysis, looking at the balance sheet. What do they have going on? And what a lot of people experienced yesterday was that their lockup period ended. Now, if you don't know what lockup period is, it's essentially what happens when a company goes public. They have initial investors that buy up shares of this stock before they go public, before it's tradable to people like you and me. And so what happened was, you buy up these stocks before it goes, or buy up shares before it goes public. And then the company tells you, okay, you can't sell this. Most cases, it's 180 days after, within the 180 days after they go public. So DraftKings went public about 180 days ago. They couldn't sell their shares. The initial investors couldn't sell their shares until yesterday. So we saw this continue to drop because of that. In between there, they also had a secondary offering. So DraftKings is getting hammered right now with dilution. And that's why it's really coming down here on top of the market coming down and everything else. So it's just really being hammered with a lot of things right now. I think DraftKings does rebound at some point, but we've talked about how DraftKings just continually spends money and grows at all costs. And we're seeing right now how that's really impacting the stock, and it has done nothing but come down over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah. DraftKings, I mean, it's going to move. It's going to move back up. But as far as a long-term perspective, the company as a whole, I just don't see how you can. I said it earlier in our mentorship. I think it's number 3. I don't even think it's number 2. I think it's Penn, FanDuel, and DraftKings.
Yep.
Who said Zoom is at an all-time? C-Buck, Zoom hit all-time low just now. That did not happen.
Maybe low of the day.
Be careful. You're going to give everybody a heart attack.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just checking in on Zoom. It did hit the low of the day just now, down to 515. So I'll probably end up scaling some more in if it comes down below that 510 spot. Getting it closer to 500 is probably what I'm looking at.
Okay. I wanted to answer this question because Julio has asked it for a while. Thoughts on GAN, which is an online gaming company. I feel like we went over this before, but
A while ago we did,
last
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? And he says, go ahead, do that. He gave me some talking points. So, he said, he thinks upside is huge. Online casinos are just starting in many states, but I want to make sure I'm not wrong. Go ahead, Brad, and I'll give my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Is GAN the company that basically takes your temperature as you walk in? Isn't that how they work, or was that Mark? I think it was GAN or Mark that was working closely with the casinos. Do you recall?
I think that's Mark. I don't think that's GAN.
Okay, so let me see this one. This one's the one. Investor relations with partnership with Alpha IR Group. New investor.
This is all online betting.
Online betting. Simulated. Okay, so this could have some upside to it, but if I recall, and please, don't take my word for this because I haven't been keeping close tabs on this, but if I recall, their balance sheet isn't great. They have a ton of debt to work through, and that's probably something that's working against them. Yes, there's definitely upside, but how much do they have to work through before they can get back into the black as far as that's concerned? You saw this go all the way up to $21 a share almost, 2048, and it's done nothing but come down since then. So until this actually starts to reverse a trend, I would say stay away. It's still just selling off.
The reason why it moved up is because it had a partnership with Win, a 10-year, I think it's like a 10-year deal where they provide online services. Now, here's the thing. Basically, what they're doing is it's Win's outsourcing using GAN. Fine, great idea for a platform. And they talked about entering into Michigan. BetMGM, which nobody talks about. BetMGM is a sleeper. BetMGM is MGM's online platform. And they were actually one of the sponsors for the NBA Finals. You would see BetMGM all over the place. So that said something to me that they're going to continue to push it. And there's just huge upside for BetMGM, for a brand that has a ton of cash, has brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So my only issue is that it's already being done. MGM has more flexibility as far as it being done in-house in cash, but that's why GAN went up. I agree with you. The fundamentals aren't there to show that. And again, like online casino is big, but Barstools has talked about that. Barstools is positioned. If anybody's going to take market share, it's Barstools. And they did well. They launched last month in Pennsylvania. It did well. Michigan is the next state that they're going into, but they've talked about how hard it is to enter. So just because they're going into states, I think they're going to have a hell of a time trying to increase market share. With that being said, Wynn is a great brand. It's a known brand from a resort perspective, casino perspective in Vegas. So I think they have the money to compete, but I would put my money on MGM before I put my money on GAN or Wynn. It'll be a really volatile ride for GAN.
And speaking of Barstool, looking at Penn right now, it's starting to get to really an area that I would consider it's either adding to your position or entering if you have yet to have entered into Penn. To that point, the casino that they're looking to move in, casinos that they're looking to move into in Michigan, they're actually planning on having a brick and mortar branded Barstool casino in Michigan. So that would be huge for the company and for the brand in general. And we've talked about how Penn has this following, this cult-like following that no other casino brand or gambling community has. You have FanDuel and it's just FanDuel. There's no personalities to kind of cling to or what have you. There's no community. Whereas Penn has that community built into Barstool, and they have Barstool Sportsbook. I think there's just so much upside to this. It's insane. And giving the price of where it's at right now, it's almost starting to feel like it's a joke.
Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty of the partnership with Penn. That's why it was genius.
Yeah.
The bar in Michigan's in a casino. That's a Penn property that it's doing at. And if I'm not mistaken, that casino pays Barstool, if I'm not mistaken. So like, it's not like Barstool's putting their brand on anything. So the partnership allows them both to have flexibility.
Yep.
And don't quote me. I think I read that. I could be wrong, but either way, it gives them great flexibility. But here's the other interesting thing, and then I want to shift to MGM real quick with Barstool and Penn. So 2021, so like this, so according to the CEO of Penn, which is Jay Snowden, he had said, this came out on the 14th, so a week ago. Michigan will be the only state where Barstool launches in 2020. So by the end of the year, Penn's going to go off. So hold on to your stock now. It's going to go off. However, in 2021, they plan to launch in 10 more states. So they have Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, New Jersey, Virginia, and West Virginia listed as opportunities. West Virginia and Virginia is going to crush with the Barstool crowd.
My God.
So all of that's going to be great. The last thing I'll say about Penn, I mentioned in the watch list, the metrics show that in the Barstool in Pennsylvania ate up a solid amount of market share in a half of a month. So once we start seeing the metrics for the first full month, October, watch out for that. There's a lot of catalysts. But to your point, Julio, listen, get it fine, get in GAN or partner with Win, all that other good stuff. But like MGM's a great opportunity. We've talked about MGM a lot. We haven't talked about it recently, but it's actually holding up pretty nicely around above $20. It's around 21, right, Brad?
Yeah. And here's the one final thing I'll say about Penn. Guess what happens on November 3rd?
Is that the for Penn?
There's elections happening on November 3rd, but guess what else guess what else we're voting on? There's other states that are voting on, gambling and sports betting and everything else. So if there's more laws that get passed in other states in favor of sports betting, then that only increases, the value that Penn and a lot of the other online gambling, especially, areas bring, so I think that's just going to be huge. There's not 1 ounce of me that wants to sell Penn right now before the election. Not 1 ounce of me.
Brought Maria, what time are earnings for Tesla? So it's after hours. So once the bell rings at 4 o'clock, does the bell ring at 4 o'clock?
Yes.
The bell rings in the morning.
It rings at 9:30 and at 4.
Okay. I didn't know if it rings on both sides, but anyways, once the market closes at 4 o'clock, we'll just wait. It should be probably around 4:15, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after.
Tesla likes to take their sweet ass time.
So William Frucknick, what's going on? I've been buying Under Armour just before the closing bell and selling midday the next day for 6 straight days. It's been a perfect next day swing. I don't know if that's Under Armour. That's great. It's working out for you. I also think it's kind of stimulus. The hopes in the morning, and as the day goes on,
it fizzles out.
Off.
Yeah, right.
Vinay, great question. Actually, I'm going to get to yours in 1 second. Julio has said, thank you. I've had a huge position on MGM at $20 average price point. SoundCloud. I can't believe you're only a brown bear still. I feel like you've been here forever.
It sure
Does
feels
Penn
like
have
it.
enough resources to land Michigan deal? As far as I know, the deal is done.
Yeah.
It's not a question of if, but when. So yes, it does. It definitely has enough resources. And it's Barstool. It's Barstool that's launching.
Right.
So Vinay, all right. So here we go. The question was, thoughts on Love. Earnings are tomorrow, pre-market.
Yeah,
Southwest Airlines.
Southwest is something that we were going to bring. This wasn't on Stock Watch Sunday, was it? No, it wasn't. We were going to talk about it, but we did not. There's a lot of hang in the balance with airlines. We've already kind of talked about it a lot as far as stimulus is concerned and that sort of thing. It's tough to hear. It's tough to see if they actually beat earnings or not. And really, I don't think that's the question that needs to be answered. I think it's just like, what's demand look like? Are we actually seeing more flights? Are we seeing more people get on airplanes and that sort of thing? And that's the big number that you want to look for. I do think that we see an increase in demand for Southwest, and I think that's actually what gets the stock going in the morning. So obviously, there's a lot of inherent risk involved with holding some Southwest. There's probably also other bad numbers that could come on the bear side of things. Layoffs, that sort of thing could be very much in play. So just be careful with that if this is something you're planning on holding through earnings tomorrow morning.
I've been flying Southwest and the flights have been full. They leave the middle seat open.
Yeah.
So the flights have been full for all the flights I've been on, which is promising. I think they're going to beat I think they're going to offer a good outlook. We just talked about TSA had highest throughput in a day
Yep.
and for the week, highest since COVID. So I think they broke the million passenger mark in a day. And so all that's great. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
And so that shows demand's going back. Southwest, the biggest key beneficiary. Now everything's kind of moving up. So I'd be a little bit hesitant. But even if they go up, there's going to be other opportunities. JetBlue is a good opportunity. You talk about a lot. Delta is a good opportunity.
Yep.
As well. They have international exposure, so that's going to take a while. But loves the stock to be in from the airline perspective. And while they'll offer good, the outlook should be good. It's still going to take some time because there's fear of another wave, and that's going to cause the stock to move. And until the middle seats open, we can't really expect them to go off, because you talk about the break-even load factor. Is that what it's called? Where that you can't get that until all the seats are filled.
Right. Yeah, so break-even load factor for Southwest is about 70%. So that means that 70% of the plane needs to be filled in order for them to not lose money on it and just break even. That's actually the lowest that percentage is actually the lowest in the industry among the bigger airliners when you compare it to Delta and American Airlines. And so I think that's why. I mean, that's one big reason why we love Southwest. And so if they're getting anywhere near that, I mean, given what you've been seeing on flights, Christian, it sounds like they're above 70% capacity. It seems like, or at least close to that. So if they're staying afloat, keeping their head above water, that bodes really well for Southwest.
Well, I think my logic was, wait, is this? Oh no, it would be a little bit more, because you have two sides of the plane. Two of the three. Right?
Right.
You have the aisle, the window, and the center seat.
Right.
So a third is out of both of those. So that was kind of my logic, whereas like it's probably barely break even.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Majid Makhtari, listen, you asked the same question 3 times. That's almost timeout territory. But it's a good question, so I'll answer it. But it's going to be timeout next time for you, Majid. What about cheesecloth condom stock, American Airlines? I mean, if you're the cheesecloth condom, that's the answer.
If you're already giving it that designation, that probably should tell you something. American Airlines is looking to spend even more money, apparently. They are threatening to lay off a bunch of employees, but by God, if they don't want to buy some more Max Air 737s from Boeing. That was just announced this past week. Makes no sense whatsoever. Not a chance in hell I'm touching American Airlines.
Yeah. We've talked about American Airlines being the dog for a while.
Yeah. We got 640
right,
folks in here, by the way. We got 219 likes. Would certainly appreciate if we get those up. By the way, guys, if you are hanging out, you're seeing folks in the chat, and you want to be a part of that, make sure you're hitting that join button next to subscribe and get all kinds of other goodies as well. We are about 30 minutes away from the close, and you're probably here because we are participating in a Tesla earnings watch party. And we are super pumped for it. So we are pumped that you guys are here. If you're brand new to the channel, at least hit the subscribe button. We go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Today is just a special day for you and for Tesla. We're happy to be here and super pumped for what's coming this afternoon. One way or the other, I think it's just going to be an exciting time to be hanging out with you guys, and we can either commiserate or celebrate together. Hopefully it's the latter. And either way, we're just glad you're here. We appreciate you.
Well, we know that one of us are going to be right. One of us is going to be right.
It's going to go up or it's going to go down. One of the two.
C-Buck, what about it disallowing spam style messaging? The problem is that it's our members. It's our crew. That's why we created a member channel. Listen, Majid learned, Steve King, why would you pick 68 cents?
Because you picked 69.
He's wrong. I think somebody hacked his account. I really think somebody hacked Steve's account. I need to message him. All right. Okay. So next question is, Nunu Fisher asked, hey, Nunu, if you had to buy one solar stock, which would it be?
TAN.
Tesla.
Well, there's Tesla. Yeah. Tesla. Yeah. Yeah. But TAN, we've talked about this. Was it yesterday, the day before? about TAN, because there was really a huge question mark with a lot of these solar companies to try to just pick one good solid one because there's so many of them. And we kind of equated it to, the pot stocks back when weed stocks went berserk. And so we're starting to see that with the solar panel or the solar companies. And so I don't really kind of talk about ETFs a whole lot because I'm not really a big fan of them. But when you have so many question marks surrounding around all of these, then really the ETF makes the most sense because at least you're covering your ass and you're not worried about picking the wrong one. They're starting. There's a couple of them that are starting to come out of the fold a little bit and actually kind of stand out as far as good quality solar companies are concerned. But one of the biggest issues with these companies is cost. Some of them are starting to lower that cost and kind of figure all that out. But I think that TAN, the ETF, is probably your safest bet to go with because there is a lot of uncertainty still. And one thing that I will say, TAN's come down a lot right now. I think this could potentially be a decent area to look and consider for a buy. But if we talked about the election, if Donald Trump happens to get reelected, I'm shorting the hell out of TAN because I think a lot of this running up is anticipation of perhaps a Biden presidency. And if that happens, then we'll probably see a huge run up. But I will be shorting the hell out of it if Trump gets in because I think that's just the overall sentiment. And it will be a day trade. I don't think that it's going to be down forever. But I think that initial move down, it'll be an easy short, just like a no-brainer short if Trump gets in.
Yeah. And Don had mentioned that you guys did your video on Friday which was a deep dive into solar.
Yep.
So Don Franz Show channel, you can check out that video from Friday.
Yep.
Danny Harris asks, is DKNG a buy right now? I would say, like, we keep saying, like, we choose Penn. I do think that these are decent levels for DraftKings. Me personally, I think that, but I would buy it personally.
Yeah, I just give it some time. I think it's just continued to go straight down and we've seen zero buying from this. Literally, yeah. If you go all the way back to the beginning of the month, there's been 1, 2, 3 green days on DraftKings. That's it. Mm-hmm. So, and don't just go in and start buying it because it's low, thinking that it can't go any lower because it absolutely can. It's still getting diluted. So there's definitely a lot of that going on. Wait for buying to return. And at these levels, I'm not seeing where buying's returning just yet. So give it some time. You got plenty of time to get into this if you want to. Anil, we got a donation from them. Thanks for the donate, my man. Appreciate you. Thanks for help supporting the channel.
Tan179, what do you think about CZR? That's Caesars. I got it before they merged with Eldorado back in April with 75 shares at $15. So Tan's in at $15. They're going into online gaming. Should I keep it or sell out all and buy Penn now?
Jesus Christ, man. That is incredible trade, by the way. Wow. Since $15, it's sitting at 53.21 right now, which is pretty close to its previous highs or recent highs. I would say that if you haven't sold any of it, take something off of the table. But if you're taking it just to go buy a pen, yeah, I mean, maybe, but I would just take something off the table. But I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to keep at least something in here too, because there's definitely possibility. There's still more upside to this. If you look at it before the crash, it was sitting at $70.74 then. So there's still room for this to run, I think. So I don't know if I would sell all of it, but I think that there's an argument that you can make for trimming something off the top for sure. Great trade though. My God.
Okay, so next question we have is Twilio a buy? That question comes from So Kim.
Twilio. So we have it's sitting at $299.40. I think we talked about Twilio coming down to these levels to 300 just yesterday. Didn't we talk about this, or maybe it was Stock Watch Sunday? I know we just talked about it recently. So I think that Twilio has the possibility of coming down to 290. If it comes down to there, we start to see some buying return. We have to see it bounce, not just because it touches this number, then yes, that makes it a buy. But we have to see some buying return on it. I like it at 290. Twilio, I think, is definitely a bull. There's a lot of bullish cases you can make for Twilio, and I like it a lot. So just give it some time. I think 290 is probably that spot that you want to look for. But yeah, I'm still bullish on it.
All right, the one we actually had on Stock Watch Sunday, which was Tractor Supply. Christopher Barros asked, does Tractor Supply beat today? Which It's actually tomorrow, I
right? Yeah.
believe. It's actually tomorrow after hours.
Yeah.
135 estimates a share. We both did say it beats. You said 147. I said 150. Damn, that's a lot. I don't know why I did 150.
So no, I think that Tractor Supply does beat tomorrow, and you can see that it's actually got a really decent looking cup and handle pattern here on the daily chart. It looks great. It looks really, really good. I think we get us back above 155, and TSC should see some really nice moves. I think right now some really good opportunities for buying. Obviously, you have earnings to compete with, which is anybody's game, but I think they do beat pretty handily.
And it's I don't know if I said it correctly. It's tomorrow pre-market.
Yes, tomorrow pre-market.
Majid Mokhtari, what about Microsoft earnings? I would imagine, is Microsoft earnings next week?
Yes, it'll be next week,
Right.
along with the other big ones like Apple and Amazon, Facebook. All those are going to go.
Yeah, we'll have those on Stock Watch Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to beat.
yeah, they're going to beat.
All right. What's Neil? Thanks for the donation. What's your stand on Nikola and Workhorse? As you said, Nikola will go down to $13. Should I buy Nikola or Workhorse?
Nikola is a piece of shit. And Workhorse is one that I would go with if I had to choose one or the other. But yeah, I don't know why GM is so confident in them. Maybe they know something that I don't. But that company has diluted that stock to hell, and there's just no parts of Nikola that I want.
Yeah, absolutely, man. PayPal is still moving. Square never made that bounce back.
Thanks
Still
for
like Square.
Thanks for the donate too, by the way, Neil.
Yeah, PayPal's up 6.5%. Somebody commented that Tesla is moving down. It doesn't look like it's moving down slightly, but we talked about this towards the end of close.
Yeah, it's just going exactly as planned.
Ab Yoga. Hey, Brad and Fat Man, what are you thinking about Fastly? Can there be much more negative sentiment going into and from earnings?
Yeah, when's Fastly's earnings? Are they next week too?
I can look them up, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't think they're next week. I think they're probably the week after. Just looking, if I'm observing from
next week.
It is next week. Okay. So that's interesting because the last earnings was like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. I like Fastly. I think they do beat earnings, and I think that we're starting to get to a point to where yes, it's approaching a buy zone. It's sitting at 79.85. I said last week when Fastly took the biggest dump ever that don't be surprised if we see this come back down to 75. Sure enough, it's making its way there. It may not get all the way down to 75 before we start seeing buying, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it come down to that level. I think they beat earnings, and I think that they surprised us. And yes, TikTok is a major part of their revenue drives, or what drives their revenue. But they got other really good clients. We're talking Twitter, Shopify, some big giants that are clients of Fastly, and I think that they still end up beating. And this is their future for moving forward, especially as it relates to remote working, is going to be astronomical. So I like Fastly a lot, and I think that's one of the misconceptions that people got from me when I said it was a sell way up in the 130s. It's not that I don't like it. I love the company a lot. It was just way too hot at that point in time. And now we're starting to get back to a level to where I think it's acceptable to start looking towards potential buys on this thing.
Nikita, we talked about Etsy. Feel free to ask a direct question, but we did talk about Etsy. Let me know what you want to know specifically.
712.
Mike B.
712 people hanging out in here.
Nice. We'll get that 1K.
Let's go.
Mike B. Welcome back. Y'all holding on to Rocket. Okay, let me clear this thing up about Rocket. And I want to talk about the numbers this morning.
Yeah, so, that was what brought it down this morning.
I guess because we probably need to say it in a different way.
Yeah.
I'll say it in a different way. I have a solo 401k account, which I have stocks in. I have an individual trading account, which I have stocks in. I have a Roth IRA account, and I have my daughter's account. Okay. Rocket is the only stock outside of Apple that I have in all four of those. So I think that's your answer. I'm still holding on to Rocket until something fundamentally changes. It's actually, I think it's like we were saying about Tesla. I don't think the analysts have figured it out or caught up yet.
Yeah.
And so I was really annoyed at the news this morning, and we were talking about it in the morning mentorship, Halloween 20, if you want to get 30 days free. I was talking about the mentorship was, um, so the title is mortgage numbers go down or whatever for the third straight week or whatever the hell it said.
Yeah, whatever it was.
For the third straight week, it goes down. It was 7%, number one. 7%. Bullshit. It's a bullshit number. But number one, what they didn't mention was it's up year over year.
Yeah.
Right? That's like a persuasive argument where you're not giving me the full information. Mortgage applications are up year over year. Sorry, I'm yelling.
No, keep going.
And
give it to them.
But like, it's only down 7%. Cry me a fucking river. And it's up year over year. It's doing exactly what we thought, people. So I'm talking to the analysts when I say people. I think that's BS. I think they're continuing to try to push it down. And you wouldn't write some freaking clickbait like that if you weren't trying to push that thing down. That's my thought. Numbers are up year over year, mortgage applications. Rates are going to be down through 2021 into 2022 is what they expect. We're good. Rocket's good.
We're damn good. And the thing of it is that, you know, people talk about or have concerns about getting into colder months and slowing down of home sales. And it's like, yeah, it probably will compared to this summer, but consider this summer being a blockbuster summer. It's going to be a blockbuster winter as well. When you compare it to last winter, the winter before, it's still going to crush. And given the amount of partnerships that Rocket has actually gotten with, especially with Realtor.com, the largest real estate app that's out there, it's all over the place. And actually, Rocket is also it has been advertising with Barstool Sports. We've seen a lot of that as well. So they're just all over the place. Rocket's going to do fine. I think that they have earnings 2 weeks from now, and they're going to crush it. And I don't like to put my tinfoil hat on a whole lot, but you bring up a good point as far as analysts are concerned. They're trying to tell everybody how this is overvalued, and I think that's bullshit as well. Down here at $20 a share is an absolute joke. I will be continuing to add to this. And just don't worry about the last couple of days. Worry about the big picture. Look at it from 30,000 feet and then actually make a decision from there, not just about what's going on in the moment.
Hallelujah. All right, here's a good question.
I'm taking that clip, bro. That is going to be that's going to be a clip. That was a glorious.
Sweet. Fired up segment. Oh, there was a good question about Zoom, which I don't know if we talked about this on the live stream.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to Dakari's question. Thanks for the donate. So you've had, I mean, this has been going on, I think, for at least a month where you've said jobless claims come out every Thursday and Zoom goes up.
It's like clockwork.
So Majid asks, will Zoom go up tomorrow if job claims numbers are bad?
If job claims numbers come in higher than expected, then expect Zoom to make a move up. And that's just been, it's literally what's happened every Thursday morning. 8:30 p.m. is when those jobs numbers get released. And you see a strong move from Zoom. Anytime the job numbers are, the unemployment numbers are high, there's no rhyme or reason. There's not a specific explanation, but when you try to identify certain patterns within stocks and you just capitalize on those patterns, this is just one that Zoom has. And I don't know if it's just because, oh, well, the Rona's still here and it's alive and well, so I might as well just keep buying up Zoom because those numbers were terrible. Maybe that's the logic with a lot of these investors, but all I know is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so I just keep going back to the well until it dries up.
Yeah. So, all right. So donation question. Does Lulu and Baba have a breakout soon? Baba's had a move.
Baba's been rolling, just like Amazon has up until today. Baba's down quite, only a small percentage. They're down about $1 a share right now. It went up as high as $3.14. Baba's going to continue to roll here, I think. Like Baba a lot. As far as Lululemon's concerned, this is in the same vein as Peloton, and Peloton's been making some really good moves. Lululemon has been a little bit more volatile, if you can believe that. I like Lululemon, and the competition that they have with Peloton is obviously their mirror brand that they just acquired over the summertime. Their earnings should be really good coming up, and that's kind of what my expectation for them is. And I believe they have earnings coming up towards the end of the year. So look for them end of November to have earnings come up, and I think they do really well. So, yeah, I like them a lot.
Awesome. We have a question about earnings plays, and then I'll get to you, Nikita. So, Camilo asks, how do you guys play earnings? Do you put a stop limit buy and just wait for it to buy, or do you guys buy pre-earnings calls?
I don't buy any pre-earnings calls. I would just usually end up just setting a limit unless I really got to have it, and the stock's moving, and I'm not confident that my limit order is going to get filled. I'll just go in and make a market order.
Okay. So then Nikita, we kind of answered this, but I'll allow this question to go through. Why is Etsy down today? Should I hold Etsy?
Yeah, just hold it. We talk about Etsy, but we talk about all the tech stocks that haven't been doing well today. It's just a rough day. Really kind of been a rough week overall. Stimulus is really kind of bringing everybody down. And really, when it comes down to tech, if people aren't getting stimulus to support their small businesses that they just created online, what's going to be what's going to impact the most? Etsy, Wix, a lot of the or Wayfair, some of these companies that have been doing well because people have had stimulus money to actually purchase their products with. So that's probably why it's continuing to come down. It's all stimulus related, and it is annoying, and we don't like it either, but it is what it is.
John Carlo said, I just bought 10 more shares because of Christian's rant. Rocket.
Let's go.
Everybody's buying Rocket. I mean, just wait. So Melissa H said, I believe you, fat man, Zoom, but I'll be honest, I have options. Now that's a different story because it's going to take a catalyst. It's probably going to be, I'm in it long. It's going to be a minute. I think it could move.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a different story. It depends on when those expire. But I'm waiting through this next quarter and their next earnings. I think their earnings are going to dominate. I think it'll run into earnings. We'll get some news about their performance leading up and rumors. But yeah, options are a different story. We're not talking options here.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't expire anytime soon.
Yeah. Julio, since it's so long. Oh, what about Huya? Huya. It's a great man. You're just trying to find these like under the rock.
They pull some shit out their ass, don't they?
Live streaming in China, perfect fundamentals for the current pandemic time.
We appreciate you hanging out. We appreciate the questions for sure. It looks like it's starting to consolidate and form a bottom here at 2150. I don't know anything else about the company, but I can tell you that the technicals look fairly decent. We got a new member here. How would you pronounce that?
Gerjo Dudas.
Gerjo Dudas. Welcome to the Chaos Crew. Happy to have you. 762 concurrent members. If you guys are just joining us, we are hanging out for the Tesla watch party, hoping it goes our way, but we're going to stick around here with you, whether it goes good or bad. Glad you guys are here. If you guys want to be a part of the conversation, make sure you're hitting the join button next to subscribe. We also do a daily watch list, and you get access to our public portfolio via Webull and all that good stuff by hitting the join button. It's $4.99 a month. It ain't going to break your bank, but it'll make ours. We certainly appreciate it. And yeah, what else you got for
Melissa
me?
H expires 2021. Remind us.
That'll be
I'll
good.
forget. I have the worst memory. I think that hits.
Yes, I do too.
I think we're going to be toasting together. Gerjo, hopefully we're not, or Giorgio, hopefully we're not mispronouncing, or I mean we are, but not too badly. Greetings from Hungary.
Ooh, all
Nice.
right, all right. Where else we haven't done a roll call, but we appreciate you guys. You let us know where you're from. It's kind of one of our favorite things.
I'm going to take about one or two more, and then we could get back to Tesla and settle in on Tesla.
We're about 10 minutes out before it close.
Yeah. Did you guys cover the update for Discord for the crew? Was there an update?
We
for
did
Discord?
not. And actually, we're considering, and this is completely off the cuff. We haven't really talked about it a whole lot, but we're considering potentially looking at like a Patreon type of deal where we have Patreon and Discord. So be on the lookout for that. And that goes for anybody else who's watching that isn't part of the crew yet. That's kind of one of those things we're considering. So still
What's on your
nothing
mind,
concrete.
man? I think you said that glows.
What's that?
You said that glows.
What glows?
You said that glows for everything. I think you're thinking maybe that was a Freudian slip or something.
It might have been. It
You
might
got
have
glow on your mind?
I
What's up,
guess.
man?
I
You
don't
got
know.
something to tell me? Fraternizing?
Yeah, right. No, so that's kind of one of the things we have on the top of mind. Is kind of something like a Patreon with Discord and all that stuff. So there'll be a chaos Discord coming up.
All right. We appreciate the love. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Griffin from Oregon. Oregon. Camilo, good question. Interesting question. I think it's a good question. What do you guys think of the economy, stock market as a general? I liquidated all my positions about a week ago, which was probably great timing for 3 reasons. Stimulus getting postponed, Rona cases surging, lockdowns, and elections.
Being 100% in cash doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Having a decent amount of cash does. I don't know if I would want to be 100% out of the market for the just in case. What if something goes off and then you missed out on those gains? So what I've been trying to tell people, and this is the questions they asked a lot, is to have something in stocks, but then also have a fair amount of cash as well. I don't know if I would want to be out of the market during the election. I just don't know if I would want to be, because I think one way or the other, the market's probably going to do really well. There's arguments that you can make for both cases if either president gets in, and they all have the reasons, but the stock market benefits no matter what. So even if Trump gets in, taxes, and regulation stays the same. Biden gets in, the argument can be made that relations with China and global, global trade and all that stuff is actually better with Biden. So the relationships there could have investors wanting to buy into the market. So I don't know if I would want to be completely out of the market when the election happens, but it definitely makes a lot of sense to have some cash as well.
Nice. Shane Haley, this is a little off-topic question. What's the best and worst move you guys have ever made in the stock market?
We got somebody from Holland. Nice. Kevin Frischman, welcome to the Chaos Crew. So the worst trade that I ever made was actually on an OTC penny stock. I lost 5 figures on that, and I can't remember the exact amount, but it was like low 5 figures. 12 grand, I think, is what I lost on an OTC penny stock, and that was tough. That was when I first started trading, and I got my ass burned big time.
Dakari, do you have to end level 1 to join level 2? No, you can just go right into the membership tab and upgrade to level 2. It's just an upgrade. It'll do everything for you.
830 concurrent viewers hanging out with us. Guys, we appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for hanging out. I think we're starting to beat CNBC live numbers right now. So we certainly appreciate that in the Chaos Crew, or just in the Chaos. If you guys are joining for the first time and you're appreciating us just hanging out and being with you live, we love you. Give us a thumbs up and just help spread the word. And apparently it helps the algorithms to some degree. So we certainly would appreciate a thumbs up if you guys are hanging out and want to continue to support the channel. South Africa. We got somebody from South Africa.
Cape Town was one of my favorite trips ever. I don't know where you are in South Africa, Bob, but Cape Town, I had a freaking blast. Tan has a question for you, Brad.
What's up?
If you had to only travel to one country, would you travel to Holland or Netherlands?
You're not getting me twice.
I screwed it up the first time I did it. But if you had to pick, if you could only fly to one, which would you go to?
Amsterdam.
Oh man! All right, nobody watches CNBC when chaos is live.
You're damn right. You're goddamn right.
YouTube does have stocks. It's called Google Alphabet.
Yeah, it's Goog. Goog.
And they're doing it.
They are.
There was one up here. What was the one? Rome. Oh, Italy. Carlo. Welcome.
England. Ooh, okay.
Hold on. I want to do this while Harrington. Oh, Bob K's in the house. We haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, he's from Delaware.
You almost lost that bull. If I could remove that icon, I might. Just kidding. I'm sure you had a great reason. Welcome back.
Good to see you, my man.
Primetime, are you really from Baghdad? Because that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, it would. It would actually be pretty badass. Just checking in on the price Tesla. This is no surprise to us that we're seeing this kind of sell off towards the end of the day. We kind of mentioned this in the beginning of the stream, that characteristically looking and going into earnings, there's a lot of people that either want to take profit, cover their ass a little bit before earnings, just for the just in case. Tesla right now sitting at 422.87. For those of you who are just tuning in, Fat Man Zoom and I both are expecting an earnings beat. His is a little bit lower than mine. The outcome, though, he thinks is going to be a sell-off on Tesla, whether or not they beat. Mine is the opposite. I think we see a run-up. They have beat earnings 4 quarters in a row. My expectation is that we see a 5th one. I think that we probably see some sort of outlook that they will be selling 500,000 cars to 500,000 units for the year 2020. And honestly, Christian, I think that would be a fantastic feat given everything that's happened this year. 2020, of all the shitty things that have happened in the year, Tesla ends up crushing it. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it really gets you excited about 2021
Yeah,
and beyond,
right.
because that just shows their ability to overcome, and their ability to do that in spite of everything going on in their international locations. I mean, they just do it right, and it's refreshing to see a company that does do it right. And I love, like, the how quickly they build these gigafactories. Like, they don't mess around.
Yeah.
And that's why they kick the ass of every other company
Yep.
that's in the automotive space, because they just get shit done.
And they have the energy side as well, which energy has been going the hell off. And it's interesting to see how energy is from the solar side of things has been moving. And Tesla has lagged behind all of the other energy companies when people are sleeping on it. So
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, and it's not really an automotive company. It's not.
it's not.
So, but I think I actually have it beating higher. I think you're 67 cents. I think I'm 69.
Oh, 69. That's right. That's right. Yeah, 69.
Yeah. So,
How could I forget?
I know there's a lot of people that weren't in here. The loyalists are in here, so they're going to hear this again, but they love us, so they'll hear it again. But let's end this going through it again. So, what we're expecting from earnings, I do think there's some profit taking. I did expect it to be a little bit higher, but I think this higher going into earnings, but I think the stimulus kind of put a wrench in that. But if they miss, I think there's going to be some issues. What we're looking for. So, key things on the bullish side to look at. I'm looking to hear something about the semis. So I wanted to remind everybody about Walmart Canada partnership, the contract with Walmart Canada, where they increased their orders for semis. And I'm hoping to hear news about that. That's supposed to, they're supposed to be delivered the beginning of 2021. So there may be a chance that something said. There's no rumors on that. This is total Fat Man Zoom speculation.
Yep.
But if they announce that, that is going to be a huge boon. I think that shoots the stock up. But if we just hear deliveries are a beat and they don't beat them monstrously as far as their projections for 500,000, I don't think that moves the needle, because we're expecting it. I don't think a beat moves the needle unless it's a monster beat. I really think it's that. So for those reasons, I feel like there's going to be some profit taking. I'm still very bullish on Tesla long term. I have a starter position, or I scale back and still have a small position in it on Tesla. So I have my starter position. So I'm not out on it. I'm just saying, for how the reaction is for earnings, I think there's going to be profit taking, and I'm going to scale in either, maybe not tomorrow, probably Friday if it does drop.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a solid plan. And that's something that's really important to have, is actually having a plan going into this one way or the other, folks. And it's one thing that we kind of like to try to employ, is that earnings are what they are. They're extremely unpredictable. We try to make the best estimations we can. And quite frankly, sometimes we hit it dead on, which we did with Snapchat, but sometimes we get it wrong. And we actually admit that every Friday, where we go put out a video that's where I was right, where I was wrong, and kind of just go over the week and what we got right, what we missed, and that sort of thing. So obviously Tesla will be on that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely important to just have a plan going into it, no matter what happens with Tesla. We're still very bullish on it regardless. But I'm super pumped and just looking forward to these earnings. We're about a minute away from the close, actually 30 seconds away. We got 957 of you guys hanging out here. Thanks so much for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Get the thumbs up if you guys are bullish on Tesla. Do you think they're going to beat? And you know, we'll be here. We'll be here through the earnings, as well as we haven't even talked about Chipotle going through earnings today either. So make sure that we have that on the radar too, Fat Man Zoom. But I completely forgot that we were talking about everything else EV related, and we have Chipotle as well, which we said was going to be an absolute monster going into earnings today too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store as well.
Yeah, and we got upgrade. James McCrea upgraded to level 2. Thanks for doing that. That's awesome. So you'll have access to Brad's portfolio. And then we have a new member. Can you pronounce that name? From Munich, Germany.
Yeah, actually, it's just shouted them out in the chat itself. But we're just gonna go with Michael. Welcome from Munich, Michael.
Michael Gross. I believe that
Gross?
symbol is a double S.
Really?
Michael, am I right or am I right? Michael
Not,
Gross.
I'm not good at
Gross.
Got to brush up on my German. By the way, I haven't checked in a while. If you guys want to look at this as we're waiting for Tesla earnings to get released, I actually put a poll out on Twitter as far as the new EV truck and Hummer. Hummer just came out with a new EV truck. I said, what's the better truck? Cybertruck, Hummer EV, Nikola Badger. 69% with 84 votes coming in saying that the Cybertruck is still better. Yeah, so go vote on that if you guys want to be a part of that. Tesla is moving up here some. No official word yet out on earnings. I'm sure we'll be seeing that very shortly. Got about
results are in.
Just over 1,000 of you guys hanging out. So we'll just continue to watch and see what the official word is on earnings here. Looks like so far so good.
Yeah, here we go.
Let's go.
It's Michael Gross. I was right.
Okay. You're an ass.
I'm loading up Twitter right now. We'll wait for Tesla and CMG.
Yeah. So we were just talking about how CMG Chipotle has earnings today as well. We actually expected this. We talked about this on Stockwatch Sunday, which if you've not been a part of or you haven't hung out, we said they were going to beat. Right now, they have the biggest boner candle I've seen since Snapchat yesterday. So it looks as if they may have beat. Chipotle is looking pretty damn good right now. It's up about, let's see here, about $10 a share since the close. It is making a pretty strong move here. It's up to $13.74. No official word on that just yet, but I imagine it looks as if that Chipotle is actually beaten their outlook here.
Yeah, and I'll touch on this real quick, and we'll get back to Tesla because I know that's why you people are here. Chipotle just built for the coronavirus and for the stay-at-home pandemic style play. So they put a focus on the Chipotle lanes, which is their drive-through. They're already an incredible company.
That's so genius. That's a genius name too.
Yeah, them and DPZ Domino's are just the monsters.
Yeah,
whether you like the food or not, they're the companies to be with. So I think they're gonna absolutely annihilate. I'm running out of adjectives. So we'll see.
So yeah, just checking in here. Still just seeing some pretty erratic activity from Tesla. Typical after hours before earnings come out activity on this. Sitting at 424 right now, just up slightly. Still no official word, so we have no idea where this is headed just yet. Got about 1,200 of you guys hanging out in here, so thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. Keep hitting the likes if you if you want to see Tesla move up here. I think that it does. Like I said, we are still very bullish on it. And
wait, what'd you say your poll was?
My poll?
Yeah. What was the Cybertruck?
69% in favor of the Cybertruck.
I wasn't paying attention, but good call. That's why I have you here.
So our Twitter poll says 69% of you are in favor of the Cybertruck. I don't know what subliminal message that exactly means, but that is hilarious.
All right. Are you on the chart for Tesla?
Buzz Jones in the house. Yeah, I'm on the chart. I'm looking at the chart right now. It's still moving up. Nothing crazy just yet, but Tesla's up about 0.5% since the close.
All right, Twitter, come through for me.
Still waiting on official word here. Just continue to observe the price action on this. Let me check back in with Chipotle here. It looks like it's actually selling off. Typical after hours play. Doesn't look like we have official word on Chipotle yet either. So just going to continue to monitor these both. But obviously the marquee event here is Tesla. But wanted to make sure I'm checking in with that too.
Yeah, and Gerjo, the earnings, there's no exact time. It should be in the next few minutes. By 4:15, we should definitely know Tesla's earnings.
Yeah, it's one thing about Tesla is they usually take their sweet ass time as far as releasing earnings after hours. It's very rare that it's right after earnings that we see that move. So getting pretty erratic here on Tesla right now, though. Not sure what's going on with this buying activity, but it is all over the place currently. Just looking at this right now on the 5-minute chart on Webull. If you guys are curious about this platform, we obviously have links down in the description if you want to open an account with Webull. You get 2 free stocks from us. Help supports the channel as well. We also get 2 free stocks if you guys sign up with $100 or more. Want to go check it out? Check the links in the description. So far, still just kind of all over the place as far as Tesla's concerned. You know, a couple of things that they're looking at, obviously, is going to be vehicle sales. Obviously, they're also looking to see if they actually beat expectations as far as earnings are concerned. So just continuing to watch and wait and see how this all shakes out.
Sands also reports as well. That's another one that'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah, the casino. Las Vegas Sands.
Yeah. All right. Do I got something? Nope, I didn't. Sorry.
Still just waiting. Got 1,300 of you guys hanging out here. This is awesome. You guys are great.
Man, if Chipotle explodes, I'm gonna go celebrate with some Chipotle tonight.
Just go buy yourself a burrito.
Yep.
If you guys could get the thumbs up, if you guys hit the like button, certainly would appreciate it as well, just to help support the channel.
Oh, damn. We shot over 1,000 big time.
On what?
On viewers. We were at 800 last time I looked.
Oh, yeah. We got a boner candle on the channel as well.
All right. Let's look at Tesla. Come on, Tesla. Where you at?
Still a little bit all over the place. Right now, just sitting at 422.73. Pretty typical, like I said, after hours reaction and expectations of earnings. So we'll see where this lands.
And anybody thinking about pulling some BS fake out, I'm on to you. Somebody always pull some bullshit in the chat to try to get us fired up.
Yeah.
Just keep reloading.
Still just waiting on official word here. Still nothing as we're watching Tesla continue to move around. Also, Chipotle is actually down 1% right now after hours. No official word on that just yet either.
Is it? I have it up.
But I'm seeing right now that it's down sitting at 13.48. So all over the place, spiking everywhere. We saw just in a matter of 10 minutes, it go all the way up to 13.77, hanging out down here right now at around 13.48. So it is very volatile right now. Tesla also very volatile, starting to look pretty decent right now. Seeing a pretty decent flurry of buying. Right now it's up. It looks as if earnings on Tesla could be potentially positive. Again, don't want to get anybody excited just yet, but it's sitting at 432.
Come on.
Do we have an earnings beat on Tesla? 1404 hanging out in here. Concurrent viewers, you guys are amazing. Love you guys hanging out. But so far, so good on Tesla. It is all over the place right now. And I don't want to speculate on what's going on, but there's definitely some crazy movement on this thing. But right now it's actually going red. So it is pretty wild. This is why we love earnings. It gets super exciting.
Richard still waiting on that drop kick. Man, that was a stressful day. Kirby, we think the Hummer announcement is nice, but there's a lot more to go.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do I got something? Do I have something from Tesla?
What we got? Somebody,
hold on. I think it's about to come through. Houston, I think it's about to come through. Hold on.
What we got?
I have numbers, but I want to make sure they're confirmed.
Okay.
It looks like they're really good. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. All right. Sorry. Give me a second. I just got to trust these numbers.
Okay.
Everybody's saying boom on Twitter. Okay. So they beat 76 cents.
Boom.
76 cents, baby.
Let's go. Go. Right
revenue, so expectations were 55 cents, 76 cents. Yeah, like we thought. Revenue 8.77 billion. Estimates were 8.29, so they beat that by $500,000. That's awesome.
Tesla right now is looking pretty darn good, sitting at 432. 433. It's up about 3% after hours on an earnings beat. So there you have it, guys. Tesla has beat earnings expectations of 55 cents. Now, the actual earnings came in at 76 cents per share. They blew away a lot of the expectations so far. Do we have sales numbers yet as far as units?
No, that's what we're waiting on. So that number is going to be what's going to matter.
Okay.
So Model 3s. they maintained the target of 500,000. So Model 3s, 120K delivered versus 80 quarter over quarter. And Model SXs, S and Xs are 17K versus 10K quarter over quarter, which doesn't quarter over quarter. I mean, they should grow, but it looks like they're maintaining that target.
It is absolutely insane. Don said he wins the bet. He was at 72 cents. 76 cents. He was the closest one.
We have a nice super boner.
That was nice,
a lovely green one.
So we got boner candles, baby. Look at this shit. It's up at 440. Hell yeah. We're not close to what our expectations for are on the price tomorrow, but man, this looks pretty damn good. My expectations on Tesla, I said, was what did I say? 475 for tomorrow. I think that would be incredible. But so far, those numbers sound really, really good, man.
I have never been so happy to be so wrong about it being going down afterwards.
We are 2 for 2 this week, by the way. 2 live streams in a row that we absolutely crushed. I'm feeling so good right now.
So their operating margin was at 9.2% versus 4.1%, which is actually
wow. That's really good.
Hold on.
That's really good.
Yeah. All this, I mean, everything everybody's saying is it's great. So impressive earnings. I just want to see this number. Nobody's saying anything yet about deliveries. It seems right now that it's in line because we have one more quarter for the year to end, right? So
yes.
500,000.
You're right. So 500,000 is the goal for the end of the year. We won't actually hear the official word on those numbers until 2021.
Yeah. So it looks like they kept it in line. Let me see real quick on Twitter if anything happened with Twitter.
Let's freaking go.
Oh, I think they crushed it too.
Who?
Sorry, not Twitter, CMG, Chipotle.
Oh, it doesn't look like it by the.
It's down 3. They did beat 376 versus 344 estimate. They slightly beat in revenue. Not sure why they're down. I imagine revenue up 14%, digital sales tripled. Apparently, okay, here we go. We said this, we called this. Their margins are down because of COVID costs.
Yep. And that's what happened with Domino's. That's what happened with Domino's.
Yeah. Guys, this is why you tune in.
Yep.
We said it freaking verbatim. They beat, sales were up, digital sales, all that crushed it, but cost. Chipotle will be fine long term. This will be a good opportunity once this thing settles down.
Yep.
We'll see about their guidance, but who really gives a damn? Because Tesla's rolling, baby.
Tesla looks so good right now. Sitting up 436 now. Probably some brief profit taking here, looks like. We'll see where this continues to roll. But we got 1,544 of you guys in here. If you're not subscribed to this channel or if you have not liked this live stream just yet, please do us a solid and do one of those things. And if you want to be in the community even more, make sure you're hitting the join button next to subscribe. You can hang out in the chat with us every time we go live. We also do daily watch lists, which if you guys were a part of that, you would have killed it on Snapchat yesterday. You would have killed it today with Tesla. We have just been absolutely crushing it in the Chaos Crew. So if you want to be a part of that, it literally is probably the least amount of risk you'll take. $4.99 a month, you can be a part of it, but it helps our channel out tremendously. We're looking to build a studio. We're looking to do all this stuff. So you guys help fund that. So certainly would appreciate you guys being a part of the Chaos Crew.
Latifa, don't do anything. Step away.
Yeah.
Just
don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. Right.
Don't do anything. Appreciate everybody joining. Roz just joined. And then we had somebody else. Jonah joined. Thank you for joining. Don't just let it be. Let it breathe.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about.
This is all good. Don't touch it for the rest of your life. But Ninu Fisher, thank you, Brad and Fat Man Zoom. Honored to be a part of the crew.
We're honored to have you.
We thank you all. This is fun. We honestly couldn't do it without you guys. I mean, this is why we do it.
Yep.
Just to create a community and have fun. So we appreciate everybody, all the 1,500 people that are watching right now. the suckers
Let's
that
go.
don't believe us about Rocket. We proved you wrong about Snap. We're going to prove you wrong about Rocket, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my God. I can't wait till we get our studio. It's going to be freaking wild. But yeah.
Don't do anything with Tesla.
No, everybody's asking if they should sell Tesla or hold. Just don't do anything to it. You'll be all right. Yeah. Everything's good. Everything's good. I'm sure you'll see some profit taking. This is normal or after hours earnings activity that you would normally see on any stock, and Tesla's no different. So you're going to see some quick profit taking, but overall, I think we're going to see some really monster moves. Even tomorrow, I think we see some nice buying. But yeah, Kenny, welcome to the Chaos Crew. Happy to have you. You guys need to make a private offering for us on the OTC buy. Yeah, right. We need to make our own ticker. That's right. We're gonna go public, baby.
Oh my God, Peloton is down. May make appearance on the watch list. These levels are ridiculous. Etsy, there's going to be some opportunities for everybody. So while Tesla moves, we've been in it. There's going to be some more opportunities for you all. Square's getting a little stupid. So let's make some more money. How about it?
Yeah. Welcome to the Chaos Crew, Carol. Happy to have you.
I feel like we shouldn't leave. We get more people right when we're about to stop. I guess they're just waiting to see like
what else happens.
We're idiots or not. Like, okay, they're all right. I'll join now.
I saw somebody making a comment of being like, "Hey, this is great." Talking about Battery Day. For those of you guys who are joining us for the first time, we went live for 5.5 hours straight, almost 6, when Battery Day was going on, and so we know how to pull the marathon when we want to.
Yeah, so everybody that keeps asking me about doing this crazy shit more often, first of all, 2 o'clock works out way better for me than 8 o'clock. I'm an early to bed type of guy, but it's called Fired Up. So all you have to do, I know somebody asked me about Goldman Sachs. Tomorrow when we go live, just say Fired Up, Fat Man Zoom. I'll fire it up for you because I will be fired up about that. But Peloton downgraded by Goldman Sachs, I really don't care.
No.
Peloton's a monster.
Yeah.
It'll continue to be a monster.
Yeah. Peloton has earnings next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't. Who knows?
Who cares? They're going to do fine.
Amazon is what matters next week.
If you guys recall, I said right around 120 is where I would consider buying some Peloton, and it looks like it's getting pretty close to that. So, yeah. I mean, buy the dip and let it rip, baby. Tesla's still looking really good. It's holding up above 435. I kind of expected a little bit more of a stronger response, but still, it is yet early. 435 was actually a resistance for it, so it's just sitting above that. I think the next stop for this thing could be 450. There doesn't look to be much stopping it from 435 to 450, so we could see this continue to move up. Either way, this is great. I'm loving it right now.
Give me that stimulus and watch that freaking Tesla
oh my God.
Off.
Yeah.
We're good. Everybody, great job. Way to not let the FOMO set in. Be smart. Oh,
this is great.
How much do I have to donate to get my name on the floor in the Chaos Studio? We almost make it like a basketball court where it has a center court and in the logo in the middle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be
Boogaloo
hilarious.
Brown. I'll put Boogaloo Brown somewhere.
Yeah, we'll do
too
it.
Good of a name.
We'll put it on the wall. You'll see it in the background.
Can we have the rights to Boogaloo Brown? We got to do something with Boogaloo Brown.
Yeah, we should.
Boogaloo sounds like Boogaloo might be the name of that reverse inverted boner.
Yeah.
That's a Boogaloo.
That's right.
That's a Boogaloo Doodoo Brown.
Oh my God. That's great. That's great. Yeah. We got 511 likes in here too, by the way. You guys are incredible. We got people already trying to push for 600. That would be awesome if we could get it to 600.
Nobody's even leaving. We're like done and nobody's leaving.
Yeah. It's whatever. We'll hang out. I'm still just watching Tesla go up, so that's still fun.
The Boogaloo Boys.
That's right.
Oh my God. So far that's the leader for me. The Boogaloo.
Boogaloo candle?
Yeah, the Boogaloo candle.
Oh man, this is awesome. Hey, we love you too, SoundCloud. Oh yeah, we got 550 likes. All I got to do is ask.
Yeah. And Amazon's kind of at stupid levels right now.
A lot of the tech is. Getting stupid. We talked about Zoom. Zoom sitting at 513. Are you kidding me? I'm definitely going to be looking to scoop some up probably before after hours is over. And we talked about Zoom too. You know, there's always this pattern with Zoom. Whenever the unemployment numbers comes out, there's always seems to be a decent pop. So yeah, definitely looking forward to moving in on some Zoom as well. And one thing to actually point out about Zoom is that ARK Invest has started to invest in Zoom. So you look at their ETF, they got some Zoom in there as well. So Kathy Woods on the Zoom train.
Yeah, and all the sheep will follow.
That's right. That's so true.
SoundCloud, you said it's a party. That's the thing with the studio is you guys I don't think you really understand my background, because I used to DJ, run bars, do the thing. We're going to have music.
Yep.
We're going to have strippers, Coke. Coca-Cola, that is. I'm just kidding. We're not doing all. I'm going to get us demonetized as quickly as we possibly can. No, but we're going to have music, and we're going to be doing it up. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to turn them into real parties. So we're really, and I mean, I know Brad's been really pushing, like, we're going to get the studio.
Yeah.
We're working things out.
Before the end of the year, we'll be in.
And I can have a Shirley Temple. Yes, I can have a Shirley Temple. Primetime DJs. It doesn't surprise me that you were a DJ at 18 years old. Everybody likes Coke.
That's right.
Can you tell, if you were to choose between Peloton and Zoom today, which I like the either or questions, actually, which one would it be?
Oof, God, that is a tough question. Zoom. Yeah, Zoom.
Julio Cesar Lorenco Bianchi.
Ooh.
That's my Scarface voice. Julio Cesar Lorenco Bianchi.
Say hello to my little friend.
Best stock market channel. They deserve it. I don't know if that's the truth, but we appreciate that.
Yeah, we're terrible, but we'll still be here if you're going to be here.
Donna, you are welcome. Fastly under 80, maybe an opportunity.
Yes.
Primetime also worked at a strip club for 12 years. I did not know that.
Ooh.
The best DJ is a strip club DJ.
That's 100%. Latifa Electrical, thanks for the donate.
I imagine you are an electrical engineer. Everybody wants to know. R. Evans, we are staying in Maryland. We're probably going to be downtown.
Yeah, we'll be in B More.
Yes. So right now it's like maybe Felts Point, maybe Canton, maybe somewhere else. But Jordan Belfort style studio. I feel like we can do better than that.
Yeah. Do way better than that. We got 593 likes. Let's get 7 more before we head out. We're on some Wolf of Wall Street shit here.
William Frucknick, the Elma Schlarp Boner, least sexy name ever. In a way, it's like a horrible name, but it's actually, I think, kind of sexy to me.
Elma Schlarp?
Schlarp.
I don't think so. Oh, there it is. 603 likes. Boom. You guys are awesome.
Live studio audience. We have actually talked about making it sort of like a hangout spot where our friends can come and where people can come. If our crew members are in town, come trade with us. We want to grow it. We just got to get in a studio first and grow from there. So we do have aspirations of stuff like that. Why are you taking your like back? Where in New York? Primetime, you've told us this. I don't remember where you said.
Yeah.
But I did know you DJ.
625 likes. They just keep rolling in.
Oh, I got a million names, but yes, I did DJ, and my DJ name was DJ Ghost.
Ooh, mysterious.
Yes, I held 40 shares of Tesla. Nice, Todd.
Hell yeah,
nice
Todd.
work.
Hell yeah, bro. You know what'll be awesome too is when we do have our studio, we probably could bring in Brendan in.
Yes. Well, he's in LA.
Well, I mean, we could still have him there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got to get like Flagrant 2 has set up in the background. They have like.
Yeah,
it's not a projector, but it looks like it. We need like a projector or something like that.
Yeah. We have friends that have, let's just say, a shit ton of Tesla, and definitely would love to have some of those big baller investors on and just talk with them and all that good stuff. So we got plenty of big aspirations and big plans, guys. Don't you worry.
Camilo, why am I called Fat Man? Fat Man Zoom is an acronym. It's the 7 stocks that I believe in, like FANG, Fat Man. So Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, MGM, Alphabet, or not Alphabet, I'm sorry, NVIDIA and Zoom.
Yep.
Jesus.
It's a lot to keep up with.
You could throw Microsoft in there. It was on the fence. I love Microsoft too. Made $3,200 on profit. Made $3,200 profit on Tesla.
Let's go.
Great job.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm not called Fat Man because I'm fat. It's the stocks I invest in. The 7 plus 3 spec stocks I do. Ticker, we're gonna have people. I think we're gonna. It's a little weird, but I mean, you guys have asked to invest in the studio. Not weird, but I think it's a little bit uncomfortable. But if you guys want to invest, we'll find a way for you to invest, and also to like have some sort of like recognition as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that for sure. That would be awesome.
And we're gonna have a big ass rocket symbol with a middle finger at the end of it. That's what it's gonna look like.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, guys, we're gonna cut it there. We see the donations rolling in. We love you. Keep them coming. The likes are rolling through too. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with us. Super pumped about Tesla. It's starting to drop off here some, but that's just typical after hours trading. Not too worried about it at all. They beat earnings. They crushed it. Snapchat crushed it yesterday. Let's keep this train rolling. Tomorrow we'll be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern time as per the usual. Hope to see you there. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Join the Chaos Crew. That's it from me. That's it for Fat Man Zoom. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.